and 2 grandkids. He was 16 years old when he joined the Army as an apprentice, a boy soldier, as they called it back then. He served from 1965 to 1990 with the Queen's Own Rifles of Canada, 2 Battalion Princess Patricia's Light Infantry, Canadian Airborne Regiment, and finally, Logistics Branch retired out of the Penhold Base in 1990. He also is an avid baseball and hockey fan. Please welcome Sergeant Retired Bill Vickers. Retired Corporal Vince Martin was born in Hamilton, Ontario, now resides in Red Deer. He joined the militia at 19 years old, serving with the Royal Hamilton Light Infantry and then the 705 in Hamilton as a communications squadron leader until 1983. He transferred into the regular force and was posted to CFP Penhold later in his career. Then served as a supply technician at CFP Lard in Germany. Many other domestic and temporary duty positions from Gagetown, New Brunswick to Massick in Haida Gwaii, BC. He left the service with honorable discharge in August 1989 at CFP Penhold. We are so proud to welcome Retired Corporal Vince Martin to the Gulls game tonight. Ordinary Seaman Mark Campbell Boatswain was born in Nova Scotia and now resides right here in central Alberta, often seen at Gulls games and Rebels games in Red Deer. He joined the Royal Canadian Navy in 2005, but due to injury, he was honorably discharged from the Canadian Armed Forces in 2008. Please welcome Ordinary Seaman Mark Campbell Boatswain. And finally, Captain Brian Wood has 35 years service. He started in 1970 with the Princess Patricia Light Infantry 2nd Battalion, a member of the Royal Canadian Air Force 1982 to 1996. Base admin in Penhold, working with many Air Force squadrons. He joined the reserve and served in Bosnia, retiring in 2011. Please welcome to the Gulls game, Captain Brian Wood. Ladies and gentlemen, our true North, strong and free, inclusive to all Canadians, thanks our veterans in attendance at home plate tonight. Welcome to the ball game and thank you for your service. The first pitch of this ball game and starting lineups are coming right up, but there is a gentleman who also loves this country, and he loves this community. Sylvan Lake's own Jared Waldo is about to introduce you to a very special guest on the pitcher's mound tonight. Jared, over to you, sir. Happy Canada Day.
Same to you, Joe, to all our wonderful Gulls fans here tonight. I want to introduce you to tonight's Sylvan Slugger. From Drayton Valley, everybody say hello to 9-year-old Odin May. Odin May, tonight's Sylvan Slugger.
Thanks very much, Jared. And watch for our promo crew decked out in their Canadian red and white tonight, along with Sully the Gully in your section, with lots of great. Welcome to Sylvan Lake, the Sylvan Lake Gulls!
Without further delay, Gulls baseball fan, let's welcome the first ever coach in our history, Jason Chatwood.
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome your Sylvan Lake Gulls!
Our home and native land, and speaking of feeling at home, I think it's safe to say that the Sylvan Lake Gulls players are feeling just that as they continue this 9-game home stretch here tonight. Happy Canada Day, everybody. Glad to have you tuning in to the Gulls baseball broadcast brought to you by visitsylvanlake.ca on FloCollege. You got Jim Cleggett, who is looking dapper, I must say, and myself, K.O. Clark. Just great to have you guys tuning in on a beautiful Canada Day here in central Alberta. The Sylvan Lake Gulls, yes, they are riding hot. 6 straight wins in a row, looking to make it 7 against a pretty good team, the Medicine Hat Mavericks. And Jim, we take a look at Medicine Hat, and yeah, they are second in the Eastern Division. However, the Gulls offense has been hot, out shooting their opponents 47 to, I believe, 12?
47 to 12. And I think the point that we're trying to make here is that the Gulls, yeah, they won 6 at home. They won 6 in a row. They beat teams that they were supposed to beat. But the key is they didn't just barely beat them. They beat them handily, and those numbers, 47 to 12, outscoring them is pretty indicative of where they are. But the bar has just been lifted a little higher now with Medicine Hat in town.
Yeah, tonight's going to be a big test for this Sylvan Lake Gulls team. As we know, Medicine Hat looking like a much stronger team this year. And this will be kind of, I guess, how you can really compare yourself in the league and in the standings when Medicine Hat has been so good, and that Eastern Division in total has been so good. You got the Saskatchewan Berries just blowing everybody out of the water right now, 21-3 on the season. They look like they could be the team that could potentially reach that record-breaking year that we didn't think would be even possible from last year.
They're almost halfway there. And we are just past the halfway point in the season. So I can't even remember the 3 games that they lost. I said they are on a roll. But it doesn't matter where you finish in the regular season. It's if you win your last game in the playoffs. We'll see.
Well, like you, Medicine Hat's going to be fitting in well wearing the red jerseys here tonight. Just pretty much appropriate really for what the day brings with Canada Day as you take a look on the field. And yeah, absolute love those jerseys. They look like they're fitting in really good today with the red and the gray pants. But you know, some changes that are a little bit of a surprise to both you and I coming into the broadcast booth today on the Gulls lineup. 3 changes, that is, and that's just positions being changed around a little bit. But Rowan O'Connor will not be at shortstop tonight. He's going to be playing second, which means new player Tai Yakamoto coming in, and he's going to be filling in at shortstop tonight. And Yakamoto from Hawaii goes to Gonzaga University. So that'll be something interesting to see what that looks like defensively for the Sylvan Lake Gulls. As we mentioned, only giving up 12 runs in the past 6 games. Defense has been pretty solid, so you kind of wonder, okay, why are we shaking things up if it ain't broken? Well, just trying different pieces, I guess. And then you take a look out in right field as well. Number 42, Kyle Lewis, a new guy, also coming in tonight.
Yeah, usually we got Simon Baker out there or Bryce Hampton, you know, one of those 2 guys. Well, you can never have enough bodies. You know, we know what happens in this league. All of a sudden the guy gets injured and, yeah, well, whatever.
Yeah, and there you see him, newcomer in number 42, Kyle Lewis. So with Lewis playing right field, that means Bryce Hampton will then shift to left field here tonight, and it'll be interesting to see. But taking a look on the mound, you have Matthew McKenzie starting things off for the Sylvan Lake Gulls here tonight. And McKenzie, no stranger, obviously, to Sylvan Lake, as we've seen him a couple times, and he's dealt quite a good hand.
So you know what's funny? I can't find, not funny, maybe ironic, is as there's Matt McKenzie, who when he gets focused, boy, does he ever throw.
Yeah.
He throws nice.
This will be his third start of the season for the Sylvan Lake Gulls, and he's going to face a pretty good batting lineup for the Medicine Hat Mavericks. Quite a few returnees this year, and in that top 4 list, you see Carter Rothwell, he's a returnee. Johnny Volcano, also a returnee. Jaden Babiak, he's also come back. Evan Morrison as well, also coming back. So, and Mika Dvorak as well. All those guys have experience in this league, and they're pretty good baseball players as well. Last time we saw them here at Gulls Field.
They definitely are. Yeah, I was just going to say, it's ironic, Rowan O'Connor over at second base, moving away from shortstop. The last game he played, he was our player of the game, and he handled the ball 7 times and did not commit an error, whether throwing or fielding. So, and he did not bat on my little trivia thing that we're going to be seeing a few. Did a Canadian invent this? And Rowan went 3 for 4. So pretty good.
Yeah,
he'd like to go 3 for 4 tonight on the field.
Absolutely. Yeah, well, and that's like what I mentioned. It's kind of surprising to see Rowan O'Connor now all of a sudden being shifted over after having his best game yet this season out at shortstop. But it'll be interesting to see what this duo brings. I mean, we haven't seen this new shortstop in number 8, Tai Yakamoto. So maybe this is a hidden weapon that was just waiting to come up to Sylvan Lake, and I guess we're going to get a pretty good taste of it here pretty soon.
Yeah, first pitch in there by Matthew McKenzie, and I'm not sure what just fell out of
I don't know.
Cam McLeod's
Part of his glove.
paraphernalia. Anyway, that missed for a ball as Jeremy Freeman Jr. leads things off for the Mavericks. Our first time seeing the team from Medicine Hat, who play in the East Division of the WCBL.
Well, just taking a look too at Medicine Hat's record. I mean, they're second in the East Division right now, 17-10, coming on a 2-game losing skid right now too. So they're going to be hungry. They're going to be wanting to battle in this one against a Gulls team that is riding hot, but that is 4 straight pitches for a walk.
Probably not the start that Matthew McKenzie was envisioning when he was warming up. So that'll bring up the designated hitter, Aaron Volcano. And get used to hearing that name because he's got 2 brothers that are on this team. I'm assuming they're all brothers. They might be cousins. I don't know. But they all have the same last name. And McKenzie comes in with a strike to start Aaron Volcano, the designated hitter, off. And that's fouled out of play. The count now 0-2. Tyler Vanesti, another veteran of the Mavericks, is the batter on deck. He's got some pop in his bat, that young man. I remember him from the home run hitting contest, I think. And that is thrown over to first, and this could end up with Freeman Jr. over at third. Although good hustle over there by the right fielder, Kyle Lewis, the new right fielder, Kyle Lewis, as he keeps that to just 1 base after the throw by Matthew McKenzie gets by. So a base runner over at second now with nobody out. 0-2 the count on Aaron Volcano, the designated hitter. And he sends this into the gap. And the Medicine Hat Mavericks, well, they are as advertised. They are dangerous with the bats. And they've shown it right away here with an RBI double from Aaron Volcano. That'll bring up the third baseman, Tyler Vanesti.
Well, this is exactly kind of what you expected to see from Medicine Hat. I mean, it's a team that's going to be pretty strong with the bats, and it's not going to be easy outs to earn yourself here this evening. So Matthew McKenzie's got a pretty big handful of players to deal with here, as this is grounded over to the second baseman of O'Connor, getting his first look. of the night, and he makes no mistake to make the play over to Bryce Turner. I'm sure that throw very weird for him because it's not as long of one, as that was just a light toss over to Turner.
You didn't have to wind up.
Yeah, didn't really have to wind up that one.
Which, you know, I mean, it's he's got such a strong arm from deep in the hole at shortstop. And it'll be interesting to see where, you know, when he fields the ball over at second, if he has to gear down a little bit. This will bring up Carter Roth, the second baseman. As you mentioned in the opening, another of the veteran Mavericks. Base runner over to third, Aaron Volcano. And he's going to score on this play right here, as that's going to drop in front of the center fielder, Noah Connings. And the Mavericks, just like that, with a couple of base hits and a couple of base runners, have themselves a 2-0 lead here in the top half of the first inning.
Yeah, they're getting some really good wood on the ball right now to start this game, and it's kind of turned into a little bit of a hitting clinic here to start things out.
This is the shortstop, Johnny Volcano.
Well, and again, it's not an error, but it's a mistake early that costs the Gulls to being down early, and that's a 4-pitch walk and then a missed throw over to first. That advances the runner to second, that would then score the first run of the game.
Which
so
I believe they did give
they
Matthew
did get
McKenzie
an error eventually, but
on
the pitches themselves was just a simple maybe mistake, and
4-pitch walk
to
lead off the game.
And then followed up an error, and
usually comes back to haunt you, doesn't it?
Not going to treat you well, no.
Yeah, nice pitch there by McKenzie. Off speed, ties up Johnny Volcano.
So here we have a guest coming in here at the bottom half of this inning.
I do believe
they
we
are just
do.
outside the door. I was surprised, but you had set it up, so I guess we got somebody coming in here right away.
I didn't tell you about this.
No, you did not.
Oh.
That's okay though. But
I told somebody.
They'll be here soon.
Maybe it wasn't you.
Stay tuned. We will have that guest in here in a moment.
Well, I'm sure you can handle it.
Oh yeah, all good. I don't mind guests in here.
No, we do have a guest coming up in the 4th inning as well.
Okay. There you go.
I told you about that one. Didn't I? Maybe I phoned my wife and told her.
You might have. Yeah, I don't know.
Strikeout there by Matthew McKenzie of Volcano number 2. Volcano number 3 is in the lineup as well, so I'm resisting the opportunity of saying that they're going to erupt, but I will just leave it at that because that's too easy. It just flows like lava. 2 down here in the top half of the first inning. Runner over at second is Carter Roth. Jaden Babiak is the batter at the plate for the Mavericks, and he takes that first pitch for a ball. On deck is the first baseman, Evan Morrison. So the Gulls looking to limit the damage here to just the 2 runs before they come to bat in the bottom half of the first inning. But they got to get past this young man right now, the catcher, Jaden Babiak.
Jaden Babiak, returnee for the Medicine Hat Mavericks from last year. Watches that go 5 for the 3rd ball, so he's up in this count right now. Babiak from St. Albert, Alberta, goes to Valley City State.
Three 3-0 count on the Mavericks catcher, and he takes a 4-pitch walk. That's the second one issued in that manner by Matthew McKenzie, who's going to get a visit from another Matthew. That would be Matt Hape, the pitching coach, and they're going to have a little chat with the starter as everybody congregates at the pitcher's mound to see what's up.
And that's a missed opportunity too. You're facing a batter that's kind of been struggling a little bit at this year, 224 batting average. Babiak's only got 19 hits on the season, and he's had 14 walks in his 85 at-bats.
And the home plate umpire tonight, Jeff Chipley. And we have 4 umpires out there this evening. Rob Allen is the crew chief. He's over at first. Brandon Strachey is over at second base, and Marcel Rosetto is the third base umpire. Nice to have a crew of 4.
Yeah, this is different.
Yeah.
Different night.
I bet you the umpires don't mind having that either.
Yeah, exactly. More eyes, the better.
That's true.
You would think this could be a pretty tight, cold game, I would think.
Well, the young man from Vaughan, Nova Scotia on the mound, Matt McKenzie, had a little chat with his pitching coach, and we'll see what he does with Evan Morrison. First pitch catches the outside corner for strike. Volcano number 3 is on deck. That's Adam Volcano, who is the left fielder.
And our friend Big Vess is stretching in the bullpen right now.
Okay.
So he's loosening up. Could mean things here in the next few innings, I would think.
Yeah, swing and a miss for a strike there. 1-2 the count on Evan Morrison. Gulls trailing 2-0 here in the top half of the first inning. Mavericks looking to add to that lead with base runners over at first and second with 2 down. And they're not going to get any further. As Cam McLeod was the strikeout and then the throw as he dropped the third strike. But that brings the inning to a close. 2 runs on a couple of base hits. They leave 2 men on base. And after the top of the first, 2-0 Medicine Hat. Gulls coming to bat.
For more than 40 years, we've been there, helping Canadians find the extra space they need to grow and to create new memories. Sentinel Storage. Buy Canadian, store Canadian.
Welcome back to Gulls Baseball on FloCollege, brought to you by visitsylvanlake.ca. There is your starting pitcher for the Medicine Hat Mavericks, and that is Danny Retzlaff, who is from Corona, California, goes to Colorado State Pueblo, and he's going to face pretty much a similar batting order, but also some changes as well. Noah Connings will be in that leadoff position at number 1, and then that newcomer in Tai Okamoto, who's playing short tonight. Bryce Turner will be the number 3 batter, and then Kyle Lewis, another newcomer for the Sylvan Lake Gulls, will fall into that number 6 spot, who is playing right field. But as we mentioned, we promised you that there would be a guest up here in the broadcast booth. We're not just making stuff up at this point. I mean, sometimes we do, but this time we're not. We got from Veteran Voices of Canada, Al Cameron, joining us in the broadcast booth. Thanks so much for joining us, Al.
Well, thanks for having me, guys.
So, Al, I mean, you and I have had a relationship for years with me in the media and you doing what you do with what. So I have an idea, but maybe for some people that don't have an idea what it is that you do and why you do it, could you please fill us in?
Sure thing. So basically, this is the 20th year of Veterans Voice of Canada. What we do 365 days a year is honor veterans 365 days a year. We do that through on-camera documentation, so historical, educational documentations of their stories, the boots in the ground guys and gals. We want to make sure that they're remembered. We do displays, and a lot of people are familiar with the the Flags of Remembrance that we do every year. So that comes up. It's an annual event that we do every year. That'll be coming up in September. And we just recently started our military museum in Red Deer. Yeah, that's a really cool thing that we're really proud of. Second year for that. And we're all about honoring veterans 365 days a year, just remembering those boots on the ground people, the people that do so much for us and make sure that we are safe.
How is the, we hear this all the time, and that's lined down to the shortstop by Tai Yakamoto. So just like that, there's 2 out, as Retzlaff is having a pretty easy go of it right now. We always hear this statement in the news there, Al, that we're running out of World War II veterans. Are you finding that as well in your work as well? And then, but there's still guys out there that need, men and women, that need to be recognized. Is that right?
Exactly, and as we've seen today on the field, so we had some amazing veterans. They're all most of those guys are buddies of mine, really important people, did some amazing things for us. Right now, at this point, we've got approximately 2,500 Canadian World War II veterans left across Canada, and we're losing those at quite a high rate right now. So, although we've interviewed in the last 20 years approximately 2,000 veterans, World War II, right to Afghanistan. And right now I'm finding it's more difficult to find the World War II veterans for obvious reasons. So we document from World War II right to Afghanistan and everyone in between. They're all important stories.
Now those flags that are just set up on this Highway 11 outside of Sylvan Lake, how long does it take to set up those flags and how many are there?
Well, fortunately I get a lot of really awesome volunteers every year. So it might take us an hour and a half to set up those 128 flags on each side of the highway.
Okay.
But those 128 flags, a lot of people don't know this. Those flags represent the approximately 128,000 Canadians killed and missing in action from the Boer War to current.
Wow.
So each one of those flags represents 1,000 killed or missing in action veterans.
Holy, wow. That's impressive.
It's important.
Yeah,
it's really
absolutely.
Important.
That's crazy.
Now, when you look out there in the world of Hollywood, they like to do things with war films that maybe are a little exaggerated, but there are some that really come true to life. And I just saw one the other day called Warfare, and I thought it was probably the most accurate description of just the tension that these veterans feel. Do you think some of them still have an interest in watching shows like that when they see it and they say, hey, yeah, we were there, but it didn't happen like that?
Yeah, you'd be surprised how many guys and gals do still watch those movies, you know, and a lot of it is, it's reminiscent of what they've gone through, what they've seen, and what they've done, and it just goes to prove that these guys and gals, they do important, amazing, really important things that there's a lot of PTSD out there as well, you know, and you see in these movies why they have it. As much as they are unbelievable stories, and I've got stories of many people along the way. In the museum, we've got some amazing stories of those who served, and they could easily be made movies out of, you know. The unbelievable stuff, a lot of the times, it does happen.
Now, you talk about the PTSD, and obviously that's a huge stigma. Is there a lot of support groups out there right now that you're noticing for these veterans, or is there more work that can be done?
There's always more work that can be done. What I say all the time is there's different categories of supporting our veterans. And what we do at Veterans Voice of Canada is honor them and help them through remembering their stories, documenting their stories, making sure we don't forget them. There's other programs, there's PTSD programs locally throughout Alberta, across Canada, that are great and amazing. Then you've got the food banks who help these guys and gals as well. It's also important to help support every one of these amazing people.
Yeah, it doesn't end when they come home, does it?
It does not. It does not. No, it's continuing. And I'm just really fortunate to have met and keep meeting these amazing people. And I meet them every day. When I'm at the museum, I've got some of these guys that you see on the field. They're volunteers at the museum. Mm-hmm. We're open Tuesday to Saturday, and you can come talk to these guys. And you can also see and hear and touch some real amazing history.
Absolutely. You know, I've seen your collection. I've been to your place. How's your cat doing, by the way?
Unfortunately, Sergeant Spanker's passed on.
Sergeant Spanker's,
so, yeah.
yes, that's the one. Yes.
Yeah.
Sorry, Sarge. But did you replace?
We picked up two new kitties, and they're both saves. They're both rescues.
I had to ask.
Of course, you have to ask.
That's important information. You know?
This museum that you talk about, whereabouts in Red Deer is it, and where can people find more information?
I'm glad you asked, because it's a really good plug to Parkland Mall. Yeah. Without them doing what they're doing for us at Veterans Voice of Canada, we wouldn't be in the public eye like we are right now. And so we're at the Parkland Mall in Red Deer.
Yep.
And we figured in the last 2 years we had 10,000 people go through.
Wow.
So there's 10,000 more people who are a little more educated on history, learned a little bit more about those who serve than there might have been had we not been there. So it's a really important thing. We are a charity. We try to do the good work we do through the support of amazing people throughout the community, and Parkland Mall is one of them. So.
And is there a website people can visit as well?
Yeah, vetvoicecan.org.
Okay.
It's a pretty easy one.
Awesome.
And we've got a lot of the interviews there, a lot of information. Our Flags of Remembrance is coming up again September 13th, and we are taking sponsorships to have names of people on those Flags of Remembrance,
Okay.
which is a really important thing. And yeah, you just get in touch with us, go to the website, or come to the museum and visit us.
Rowan O'Connor handling that, by the way, we still have a baseball game on too. So he had thoughts of going over to second base and trying to turn a double, but he took the easy route and went over to first to get the first out. Although Adam Volcano does make it over to second base. 2-0 Medicine Hat leads here in the top half of the second inning. This is the top of the order, Jeremy Freeman Jr., who had a 4-pitch walk to start things off. So when you look around at the support tonight here at Gulls Field at Pagato Park with the fans in the crowd and wearing the red and white, and you had the soldiers out there, that's got to make you feel awfully proud of where you live right now, doesn't it, Al?
Yeah, it does for sure. It's the red and white of that flag is important. A lot of these guys and gals actually served under that flag, so it's great to see the support for that. It means a lot. That red and white flag means a lot to a lot of people.
Mm-hmm. Were you now you're not as old as I am, but were you around when they made the change to the flag?
I was about a
year?
year old, I think. Yeah.
That's
so
what I
don't
thought.
quite remember that happening.
But you've read about it, I'm sure. You took it in history class, right?
All the time. When I started the Flags of Remembrance, I have to get a little bit of history as to where those flags came from. So yeah, definitely did a little bit of research on it.
So I think I like this flag a little better than the Union Jack. Kinda?
I think a lot of people would say the same thing. I really do, yeah.
I'm on the right side of history on this one, am I?
It looks good on the highway, I know that.
It does.
It looks
really
really
does.
sharp, yes.
Now, how many kilometers does that cover? Is that just 1 kilometer, or how many would you say?
It's 1.3 kilometers.
1.3. Well, you got
Yeah.
it right to the decimal. All right,
Right
I love
to-
it. Yeah,
He would know that.
This guy knows.
I did
what
a
he's-
drive-by.
Yeah, he's done
He
it a
did
couple
the drive,
times.
yeah.
Yeah, no, it is remarkable when you're getting close to Sylvan Lake and you see all those flags. It really just stands out, and it's remarkable just to know the backstory now, because I think a lot of people out there would not know that there's a reason there's that many flags. So
Exactly.
thank you for teaching us that today.
And just one real quick thing,
Yeah.
a lot of people don't know this, that each one of those flags has the name of a hero on it.
Wow.
So the idea of this was for people to walk that flag line,
Yeah.
read those names, and remember and see a name of somebody they wouldn't necessarily know or heard of.
Okay.
So that's another real important mission of Flags of Remembrance. And we will be hopefully doing it at the Sylvan Lake down at the waterfront this year, where we do our ceremony.
And that's just hit foul left down the third baseline. Yeah. And then you were talking about
Good pause.
Yeah, good pause. Absolutely. And you were talking about the sponsorships as well. Those flags, can they be sponsored? Is there something that the sponsorship dollars go towards when it comes to this kind of stuff?
Yeah, the sponsorships go to what it helps us do the daily operations of Veterans Voices of Canada.
Okay.
And over the years, I started Flags of Remembrance back in 2014. And since we started that program, we've actually donated $100,000 back to different community organizations.
Oh, wow.
Pass ball there on that pitch from Matt McKenzie, gets by Cam McLeod, and that sends Adam Volcano in across home plate for the third run of the game for the Medicine Hat Mavericks. And as we mentioned, the bar has risen from the 6 games that the Gulls swept in their home stand here. This is a little different level of competition right now that they're facing in Medicine Hat. And that's skied over into foul territory. And circling underneath it is the third baseman, Jaden Flores, who I'm used to seeing him over at second, but he's over at third. But he makes the grab, brings the inning to a close. And Mr. Cameron, thank you so much for your time today.
Thank you so much, guys. Much appreciated, and hopefully we'll see you at the museum one of these days.
You betcha.
Right on. Great to have you. All right, we'll be back with the rest of this second inning when we come back on FloCollege.
Hey baseball fans, make sure to stay up to date with your favorite teams across the league by subscribing to the WCBL YouTube channel right now. We have tons of free coverage for you over there, including daily highlights, full archived game broadcasts, daily game day previews, plus 2 weekly shows including the WCBL Report with myself and Joe McFarland every Wednesday, and also the WCBL Game of the Week pregame show leading right up to game time every Thursday night. It's all in one spot, the WCBL YouTube channel. Subscribe today.
The designated hitter for 11, Brock Tigarina.
And to lead things off here in the bottom half of the second inning, Brock Tigarino lines the first pitch that he sees right to the second baseman, Carter Roth, for the first out of the game, or of the inning, I should say. So one down there for the Medicine Hat Mavericks. That'll bring up the third baseman, Jaden Flores. 3-0 Mavericks lead. The Gulls, it's almost like they're still celebrating Canada Day. They haven't quite got their feet on the ground right now.
Well, defensively, you know, Medicine Hat's really coming to the plate strong and, you know, getting some good barrel on the ball. Meanwhile, defensively, the Gulls, you know, it's just landing in the gaps. There's not much they can really do where Medicine Hat's hitting it. They're getting good wood on the ball, and then Sylvan Lake comes to bat, and so far it's early, but they seem to just be having a tough time at the plate right now to get anything going. They need, you know, they need a base hit here. They need something just to kind of give them a little of that. Okay, let's dial it in. Let's keep her going. Let's get her going.
Yep. You never know what's going to spark a team, right?
Exactly, and it's kind of looking like they're playing to opposite of what they've been playing the last 6 games. But this might just be what they need, as that will land in for a base hit. Jaden Flores lifts this into shallow right center, and the Gulls are on base.
Sometimes you don't need a line drive. You just need a little blooper, a little Texas leaguer into shallow right center, and there it is, the first hit of the game for the Gulls, and maybe that starts something. We don't know.
Yeah.
But this is one of the newcomers, number 42, Kyle Lewis, the right fielder. It's our first time seeing Kyle from Lubbock, Texas.
Yeah, I'm excited to see this guy. I mean, he looks pretty fancy. I'll give him that. He's got the yellow sleeve, the yellow gloves. That remind you of anybody from maybe last year that did something kind of similar?
I think that was, Elijah Tanner?
I believe so, yeah.
Yeah, he had yellow shoes to go with it,
yellow
too.
shoes, too, yeah. Good memory.
Thank you.
I was wondering if you were going to actually get the name. I honestly, to be honest with you, I wasn't sure if I could remember who the name was.
So I could have said anybody.
You could have, and it could have convinced me. Yeah, you might have got away
it was
with
him. Oh, I don't know.
Yeah, sure.
Oh, yeah.
We're glad you're watching back home, by the way. If you're watching on FloCollege, happy Canada Day. And if you're from the States, again, thank you for watching.
It's been so long since we've done this.
It's, just
seems like,
48 hours ago.
2-2 the count on Kyle Lewis.
I guess less than 48 hours ago. It was a day game.
That was our first afternoon game.
Yeah.
And that's kind of land on our roof. There it is. I heard a thump. Either that or a very heavy pigeon. 2-2 the count on Kyle Lewis. That is Jaden Flores, the base runner, over at first. He's a danger to steal, and there he goes. Right on cue. Hang on. He did it.
Oh, just.
You got to stretch those toes. And hang on for dear life, because you can overslide that base so easy.
Yeah, that's a timely steal. I mean, he, as you mentioned, right on cue, is known to steal. He's got the wheels, and now they are in scoring position with a full count to Kyle Lewis. A good base hit here could score in a run. Or he could just take a walk too, that works.
And that misses high for ball 4. So runners on first and second. This will bring up the left fielder tonight, Bryce Hampton.
So Bryce Hampton steps up to the plate, and as we take a look at what he has done, he is .339 with the bat so
that
far.
Gets through the wickets of the catcher, Jaden Babiak, and everybody moves up 90 feet on that play. Now, as Big Vest told us, if you talk to the pitcher, that was a pass ball. If you talk to the catcher, that was a wild pitch. Who should we talk to?
Yeah. As I mentioned, Hampton .339 on the year. He's got 7 RBIs, looking for some more as he swings through that one for a strike.
It must have fouled. He must have tipped that because nobody moved on that one. I thought, like nobody moved. They called it a wild pitch, says Calvin Bellows.
Okay.
Thank you, Calvin. I had written down pass ball. Never blame the pitcher. At least that's what Big Vest said.
Yeah. At least as the pitcher, you don't want them to blame the pitcher.
No.
So 1-2 the count to Hampton from Bozeman, Montana.
And a strikeout there of Bryce Hampton by Danny Retzlaff. Cam McLeod, the catcher, will step in with 2 down and runners on second and third. This is where the bats need to come to life.
You took the words out of my mouth. Yep, absolutely. This is a crucial time to score something. You got 2 runners in scoring position. You're down 3-0. You got to at least try to cash one in here. Finally got a little bit of momentum with the bats and the offense. See if you can keep it going. And that's inside for another ball. So 2-0 the count to McLeod.
Well, a 3-up, 3-down inning in the first after the Mavericks sent 2 or crossed the plate twice in that inning. So you can't let this get too far out of hand. And this is going to drop in and probably score 2 here as everybody's getting the wave. Jaden Flores and Kyle Lewis. And just like that, the Gulls have cut the lead to 1 now on a 2 RBI single by Cam McLeod.
That was a really good clutch hit by McLeod to just drop it into the hole, scoring the 2 runs and making this a game. 3-2 now. Medicine Hat leads it. I know on your TV it's saying 2-2, but we do have a 3-2 score here at the ballpark. Medicine Hat did score 1 run in the top half of the second inning here. And Rowan O'Connor, we mentioned he had the player of the game last time, and why not? Keeps it going here. He drills that up center field, and that will be a base hit yet again for the Gulls as they keep the 2-out rally alive.
Well, they definitely have found their stroke right now. We're heading to the top of the order as a base hit by O'Connor keeps the inning alive with 2 down here. The Gulls trailing Medicine Hat 3-2. We could be in for a bit of a slugfest.
Well, O'Connor went 2 for 3 last game, so I mean he's just picking up from where he left off.
Yeah, he's found his groove. Not being held on by anybody, so he gets a pretty good lead over there at first.
Good catch there by the catcher, Jaden Babiak.
Noah Connings grounded out to third to start the game for the Gulls in their bottom half of the first, but they've since posted 2 runs here in the bottom half of the second. And a good block again by Babiak. Keeps that from hitting to the, well, whatever you want to call that. The wall, the backstop, the screen. A long way away from where he's sitting right now, which makes it hard to throw a guy out. 2-0 pitch here to Connings. And he grounds it right back to the pitcher, Danny Retzlaff. And he makes the play over to first, but the Gulls have cut into the Mavericks lead. And it is now 3-2 Medicine Hat. After 2 full, they come to bat.
And we're
So
going
I'm
to
here
go to a
with-
little bit of.
So I'm here with our shortstop, Rowan O'Connor. And Rowan, I'm going to test your American knowledge of Canada.
All right.
Okay, really quick.
Okay.
Answer right away.
Here we
okay?
go.
Here's the first one. It's on food.
All right.
Did
oh, God.
Did a Canadian invent Hawaiian pizza, Mediterranean salad, or Peking duck?
Hawaiian pizza?
Yep.
All right.
You got it.
All right.
Okay. Another food question. Did a Canadian invent mayonnaise, ketchup, or peanut butter?
Peanut butter?
Peanut butter.
Oh, let's go.
You're two
for
two.
two.
All right.
Come on.
Okay, number 3. Did a Canadian invent hockey, pickleball, or basketball?
Pickleball?
No.
Oh.
Basketball.
Basketball. Oh.
James Naismith with his peach baskets. There you go.
He was a Canadian.
That's right.
Wow.
And last one. Did a Canadian invent an MRI, X-ray, or pacemaker?
Pacemaker?
Right on.
Oh, there we go. 3 for 4.
Attaboy,
Let's go.
Rowan. Matthew McKenzie still on the mound for the Sylvan Lake Gulls. His offense has come to life as they got 2 runs in that bottom half of the second inning to cut into the Mavericks lead. 3-2 Medicine Hat leads here. And Tyler Vanesti will lead things off. He grounded to second back in the first inning.
We're going to come back from that break, and I saw that you had Rowan O'Connor here in the broadcast booth asking him some Canada trivia questions. I love that, and he did not too bad. He got pacemaker, the very last question, right?
Yeah, he
Not
was
bad.
3. He was 3 out of the 4.
3 out of 4.
And I don't know if a lot of Canadians would get them.
Look at you doing some early stuff at the ballpark.
Well, apparently I did
Getting
it
some
all.
overtime.
I did it all to myself because I didn't told anybody that I was doing it. So I'm pretty sure I've been in communications for a long time, but I just kind of dropped the ball on this whole thing. So
No,
there's
that's
3 more coming, Kyle or Kale. I'm
All
looking
right.
over at Kyle Lewis.
Sounds good.
And I'm thinking, wait a minute, now focus, Jim.
That's okay. That's all right. You call me whatever you want.
Now, just don't call me late for supper.
Yeah. Yeah. No, that's great. How so? You did this earlier on today. Was this early afternoon stuff? Was this just before the game time? What time did you arrive to the ballpark today to
Apparently
get up
too.
some interviews?
Apparently too early. Because I still haven't caught up.
That's all right. Well, that's good. No, it's good stuff. I
No.
love that you came with some. I mean, it's Canada Day. You gotta have something for our great nation's birthday. And
So basically, it was 4 questions.
yeah, tell us.
Did a Canadian invent this? Or what did the Canadian invent out of these 3? I give them 3 options. So there was 2 kind of food options. There was one sports option, and then there was one that was science.
Oh.
And I'll tell you, Junior Garcia he said, I don't like this. I don't like doing this. I hate doing this stuff. And he was fine. But he went 1 for 4. And a walk there given up by Matt McKenzie.
Yeah, Mackenzie's having just a little bit of a tough night start so far, I think, for the Gulls. I know it's early, but you got to wonder that this is not one of this. Just going from the last 6 games in a row, you take a look at, how the pitching has been. And there hasn't been a lot of walks. There hasn't been a lot of these, getting yourself in trouble areas, issues. And tonight we've seen that already a few times by McKenzie.
You know what they say, when you dig yourself a hole, just stop digging?
Yeah.
I think the shovel is glued in my hands. I keep digging a deeper hole here. I'm talking about what is coming up. And spoiler alert, no, there's no spoiler alert. I spoiled it already. So I'm just going to shut my mic off right now.
Oh, Jim. Yeah. Well, the one day off might have been what did you in a little bit, I think. You ran on a roll for 6 straight nights in a row, just, you know, flawless. You know, had one night off, and then we're back at the ballpark. This is grounded over to Vanessa, or sorry, not Vanessa, the throw for the double play, but he gets there in time as Jaden Flores turned on it pretty quickly. However, the Gulls couldn't quite turn the double play. As you take a look at the Hearthstone Property Management replay, good arms, but wow, the speed on Carter Roth in the dive is, I think, what saved him there on that play. But you couldn't have set that up any better for the Gulls, but they do get the leadoff runner out at second. I think I did lose my broadcast partner. He's not turning that mic back on. Carter Roth over at first. This is Johnny Volcano, struck out back in the first inning.
Every time I turn this thing on, I make a mistake.
He's back.
So I think I'm just going to cut my losses.
You'll get
goodnight.
it. It's early. You'll get her.
Say goodnight, Jim. Good night, Jim.
So I should mention tonight's game, the one here in town, is locally sponsored by Sobeys, local owners. They had a good presentation ahead of the first pitch here tonight on the field. And we'll 1 and 2 here to Johnny Volcano. And I'll finish my story after this pitch.
Oh, you take your time.
No. Okay, so the game, every game in Canada, Dave, this league, is brought to you by BrokerLink Insurance. So BrokerLink is a great sponsored, league sponsor, I should say, and they sponsored every single game today across the WCBL, as that is lined out to right field, and there to catch it is Kyle Lewis for the second out. So that was Shayla and her family that you saw on your screen just moments ago, and they are with BrokerLink Insurance.
Yeah.
And, you know, great to see two game sponsors tonight.
Smooth
Smooth.
effort out there by Kyle Lewis. New guys, you know, we got to see what they could do.
Yeah.
And we saw his arm earlier when he made a catch out in right field going towards the foul territory and then turned and fired a strike to the infield to keep the guy at first. And this is grounded down to O'Connor, and he's going to flip it to Yakamoto, the new shortstop, and the Gulls defense backs up the offense, and they go and close things down for the Mavs. 3.5 or 2.5, I should say. Gulls coming to bat. Well hit to center field there by
Tai Okamoto.
Tai Okamoto.
Yeah. I mean, first pitch swinging, and he gets good wood on the ball, just right to Jeremy Freeman Jr., so that's one away on the Sylvan Lake Gulls.
That'll bring up Bryce Turner.
Well, the Gulls had a good inning there of playing defense, and now it's still a one-run game here on the Gulls broadcast. You got Jim Cleggett, K.O. Clark on FloCollege, brought to you by VisitSylvanLake.ca. Again, tonight's game sponsored by two, Sobeys and BrokerLink Insurance League sponsor. But the Sobeys sponsor for tonight's game is a locally owned Sobeys. My girlfriend's family owned a Sobeys.
Oh, yeah?
In Lacombe, Alberta.
Really?
Yeah. For 16 plus years.
Wow.
Yeah.
16 years in the food business.
In the food business.
Or the grocery business.
The grocery
I guess.
business.
Yeah.
You know, you hear some good stories.
I bet. I worked at a grocery store.
Yeah?
Yeah, when I was in school.
Yeah.
Stocking shelves.
I actually did that for work experience too in high school. For, you know, they had a day where they would do, they call it work experience day, or they do some, anyway, I can't remember what they called it, but yeah, for a day.
Get out of our classroom and go find the real world.
Yeah, yeah.
That's
Get
what
out
they
of
call
here
it.
and
Yeah.
experience the real world for a day. Yeah. That is lifted into right field. Settling under it is Micah Dvorak, and he will catch that for the second out. So 2 up, 2 down quickly on the Sylvan Lake Gulls. But yeah, the old Alex Food Store.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
Main Street. I stocked some shelves and hung out in there for a little bit. Tried not to eat all the bakery and the baked goods. So, you know, you gotta get a little bit of experience and start somewhere. And look at that. Speaking of food, that gentleman was sitting down with a nice poutine. This is grounded over to Carter Roth, and he'll make the throw in time. So the Medicine Hat Mavericks shut the Gulls down, 3 up, 3 down, and we will hand now things over to our play-by-play announcer, Jim Cleggett, with a special guest.
I have permission to say we are going to talk to another Sylvan Lake Gull and a little Canadian trivia. Who invented this? Well, I've got one of our catchers, one of 3, Junior Garcia. Junior, where's home?
Boise, Idaho.
Boise, Idaho. So you qualify as an American. There you go. So this is Canadian trivia. Okay. Who did a Canadian invent Hawaiian pizza, Mediterranean salad, or Peking duck?
Mediterranean salad.
Hawaiian pizza. Nice try. What? Yeah. Now another food question. Did a Canadian invent mayonnaise, ketchup, or peanut butter?
Let's go mayonnaise.
Peanut butter. It's okay. It's okay. This one's easy.
Okay.
Okay.
Here we go.
I think I'm setting you up. Did a Canadian invent basketball, hockey, or pickleball?
I'm going to say pickleball. Hockey's still obvious.
Yeah, hockey is too obvious. Basketball. James Naismith. Look it up. Canadian. And the last one. Time to go. You can't go 0 for 4.
Right. It's got to be one of these.
Rowan O'Connor was 3 for 4. Just saying. Did a Canadian invent the MRI, X-ray, or pacemaker?
Pacemaker.
Right on. He went 1 for 4. Thank you very much, Jim. Welcome back to baseball here at Gulls Field at Pagato Park. Jim Claggett, Cale Clark on FloCollege. This game brought to you by BrokerLink on a province-wide basis on both provinces, Saskatchewan and Alberta, where our franchises are, as they sponsored the whole Canada Day right across the old board. Well done. Thank you so much for your work. And then, as you mentioned, Sobeys, our local sponsor of the game today here at Gulls Field. So without sponsors, you know what, pretty tough to do what they do in this league.
Absolutely. As Evan Morrison gets a good cut under this ball, it's going to sail into left field, and coming underneath of it is Bryce Hampton for the first out. So 3-2, Medicine Hat Mavericks lead it over the Sylvan Lake Gulls, and now both teams at 3 hits apiece. One away here in the top half of the 4th inning. And that ball lined out to center field. So 2 consecutive catches in the outfield, 2 outs. And that'll bring up Micah Dvorak, as that one was caught by Noah Connings.
Let's see the replay. No, just kidding. The replay of the last 3 minutes, I've missed it.
You might have heard a little silence there for a second. We will explain. We were doing a nice team photo with our very own Mark Stiles, who runs the partnerships of the WCBL, and he was just in here for a moment, so we had to get a picture with one of the league representatives.
There you go.
On Canada Day, as he does a terrific job around the league with, we were just talking sponsorships and what it means to be a partner, and all that stuff that the WCBL runs on and other teams run on. Well, Mark Stiles is one of the main guys to contact for the league sponsorship. So it only made sense, and it was only fitting. It's like he heard us, and he had to come and get a photo with us. So
well, without people like Mark, pushing the proper buttons, this league just, it's just amazing. As I was driving up, I was thinking this, and this is not a word of a lie. I'm thinking to myself, when the Schetzels and the ownership group, they all look and they see, the other night we had $18.99 paid attendance.
Yep.
Like, when you see that, you guys created this.
Lightly
This is
swung.
grounded back to Matt McKenzie, and he fires a strike over to first base and brings the inning to a close. The 3-up, 3-down inning for the Gulls as they keep it 3-2 Medicine Hat, but the Gulls are coming to bat.
Well, Jim, you were saying that there was 1,899 people here on Sunday afternoon, our first afternoon game that we had, and there's a great shot of the crowd here tonight, and you know what? Still, great attendance. Maybe not as full of a berm as we saw on Sunday afternoon, but still a pretty full berm nonetheless, and I think that's always great to see. As you mentioned, Graham and Jen Schetzel coming to the ballpark, they love to see numbers like that.
Well, and again, I say they created this. This is a dream that they put together, and here we are into year 5, and people are still coming in droves. And I get stopped all the time because people who know me and know what I do here, they say, hey, I can't get a ticket. I say, well, yeah, that's part of the problem, and it's a good problem for the ownership group to have. So you got to know somebody to know somebody, I guess, in some respects, and that's fine.
Well, and there's something to be said for that Hollywood saying, build it and they will come. Well, they built it, and people are coming.
Boy, they're still coming.
Yeah, they're still coming.
Yeah.
New fan, and what's crazy is I talk to so many people on a daily basis, and the amount of times I have heard people say to me, when I say that I work for the Gulls, as Flores rips this into deep left field, that's going to bounce off the wall. This is going to be easily a stand-up double. But he's going to slide anyways, because why not? He's feeling it. Jaden Flores' bat continues to remain hot. for the Sylvan Lake Gulls. He is 2 for 2 on the night too. Incredible.
He just has such a good swing, and it seems like he sees the ball like it's the size of a beach ball, and he just I'm just waiting for my pitch, and when it comes, goodbye.
Yeah.
You know, because he had the home run the other night. He's just been a solid defensive player. He's been so good with the bat. He runs the bases well. I'm impressed with Jaden Flores.
Absolutely. I mean, he was the batter of the week that the Gulls picked amongst a couple pitchers of the week as well. And yeah, in that batter of the week, he had 2 home runs and some RBIs, and yeah, he was pretty solid. I think he had 8 hits in his 16 at-bat appearances.
Wow.
Yeah, it was pretty incredible stuff from Jaden Flores this past week here at home. But as I was mentioning, the amount of people that I still hear say when I tell them I'm working for the Gulls and at a Gulls game, I have still yet to be at a Gulls game. I gotta get out there. Gotta get my tickets. We've been meaning to go. Blah blah. You know, I've hear it almost daily, Jim, that there's still people in Central Alberta and people you talk to that are like still yet to get out to a game. So yeah, as we mentioned, there's more and more fans every single day getting that first experience of what Gulls baseball is really about, and you know, it's a beautiful night for all these fans in attendance, that's for sure. I know a couple captains of the Black Falls Bulldogs BCHL team are here in attendance tonight. One former captain, Cody Willock, and the now new captain, Joey Mello. He's going to be playing in his last season of Junior A hockey. Sorry, I know it's a subtle little shout out to the Black Falls Bulldogs, but
subtle as a hurricane.
Yeah, subtle as a hurricane. Yeah. Exactly. But yeah, you know, and they're getting their first experience of Gulls baseball, so it's incredible.
That's great.
It's good stuff.
You know, amateur sport is some of the best. I mean, the pros are obviously slick. There's the old. I thought that was a ball, and I'm on my way to first. And Jeff Chipley said, "No, not so fast, Kyle Lewis."
Let's take a look at this replay here, and
that was the right call for sure.
Yeah, that's close.
Kyle, you got to be a little patient there. You'll learn. Full count there on Kyle Lewis, the newcomer to the Gulls lineup, the right fielder. As he has a man on second in Jaden Flores, who just, the teams can't seem to find a way to get this guy out on a regular basis. So we'll see what happens here with Lewis, the right fielder. Bryce Hampton is on deck. And swing and a miss for a strikeout for Danny Retzlaff.
And that was high. I think maybe if Lewis let that go, that'd be a walk, but instead he takes a pretty good cut at it, so just a good pitch there by Retzlaff to get him swinging. Bryce Hampton, last time he was up, he struck out in the second. Looking to reverse roles here with a runner over at second, and that is Jaden Flores, after leading things off with a big double to left field.
The sun keeps coming in and out of those clouds, and it's nice when it goes behind the clouds.
Just going to say, I'm not going to complain. And I'm sure you aren't either, with being right in the direct sunlight where you sit every day.
Yeah, I'm kind of in the, on the top rack of the oven here. It's okay. If I start blending in with the red part of this shirt, you just let me know.
Well, I got some sunscreen and aloe vera. I got some. Still, it's in my bag.
I was going to say, if only we had some handy.
Oh, we got some handy. Don't you worry about it. I'm set for life.
You're set for this
You'd be proud. I double applied today.
Oh, did you?
Sunscreen. I sure did.
Good for you.
Mom would be proud too.
He's learning.
I'm learning.
2-0 the count here on Bryce Hampton.
You know, you're going to get a kick out of this after this pitch. Oh, yeah.
Okay. Called strike there.
So guess who gets burnt yesterday in the sun?
Your girlfriend?
My girlfriend got burnt in the sun yesterday.
Karma.
Her legs got burnt. Her face got red, but I guess she just gets red in the sun regardless. So her face didn't actually burn, but her legs burnt. So I kind of gave her a little bit of a...
Jaden Flores was taken off for third, and Bryce Hampton took a cut at that pitch to even the count at 2-2. Not sure, but Flores had a little discussion with third base umpire Marcel Rosetto after that slide. Not sure what that was about. We weren't privy to the conversation.
Wish some of these guys would be mic'd up, don't you?
Oh boy, I don't know.
How much fun would that be?
I don't know. There might be.
Well, of course, there's gonna be the colorful language in there every now and then.
No, baseball players.
Yeah.
No.
But it would be fun for us to know what they're saying.
I'd like to mic up a first baseman because they talk
They
to
talk a
everybody
lot.
that comes
They
down
sure
to first
do,
base.
yeah.
That would be fun. Even the first base coach. Cam Diaz is over there, first base pitcher Cam Diaz, and he likes to talk.
Oh, yeah.
He'll talk to anybody and everybody.
Well, it was actually funny. So the Sylvan Lake Gulls did a Canada Day feature that they put on their social media earlier today, and it was Big Vess sitting down with Cameron Diaz, and they looked at logos, or they looked at, items. So for instance, they looked at a toque, and they asked Cameron Diaz what it was, and he said it's a beanie.
Yeah.
So that is hit out to center field, and that's caught by Freeman Jr. Flores, though, with the wheels, easily gets to third, no problem.
Yeah, they call it beanies or knit caps.
Beanie,
in the United States.
Kraft dinner, he just called mac and cheese, which, I mean, that's close enough.
Same thing.
That was the closest thing he had. He looked at rockets, the candy rockets. He called those Smarties.
Oh, no.
And then the very next picture was Smarties. So then Big Bass obviously showed him, like, no, man, this is what Smarties is.
Yeah. They don't have Smarties down in the States.
No, they don't.
It's amazing. Coffee crisp as well.
Yeah.
We brought some down to friends of ours in Palm Springs this past winter, and they couldn't. They said, "Oh my God, this is so good." I said, "It makes a nice light snack."
Yeah.
As I blatantly rip off the tagline of Coffee Crisp.
That's all right.
That's okay. 1-1 the count on Cam McLeod. Jaden Flores over at third base. I had to look around the corner because I couldn't see him. I had to lean over past the window here, but he was on the grass part of the artificial turf there.
All right. So Cam McLeod, he had 2 RBIs already tonight with that two RBI single back in the second. Looking for the tying one right here, and he goes down swinging. As Medicine Hat gets themselves out of a jam with Jaden Flores creeping on the back door at third, but you take a look at the Hearthstone Property Management replay, and they got the best of him. So we will hand things back off to our very own play-by-play voice, Jim Clayett, with another special guest here in the broadcast booth.
Well, joining me now is first baseman Bryce Turner. Bryce, where's home?
Indiana.
Indiana. Okay, whereabouts?
Southeast.
Southeast Indiana? Okay, basketball. Well, you might know this one then. Okay, this is, did a Canadian invent this? So here's the first one. Hawaiian pizza, Mediterranean salad, or Peking duck?
Hawaiian pizza.
Right on. You're 1 for 1. Okay, next one is still a food question. Mayonnaise, ketchup, or peanut butter?
Mayonnaise.
Oh, you were going to say peanut butter, weren't you? Yeah, it's peanut butter. You were close. You were close. Okay, hockey, pickleball, or basketball?
Hockey.
Basketball.
No way.
Yeah, way. Especially a guy from Indiana.
Yeah,
Come on,
I
man.
didn't know that.
And then the last one, MRI, X-ray, or pacemaker?
Pacemaker.
Right on. 2 for 4, man. There we go. Bryce Turner showing us how it goes. 2 for 4.
Well, thanks, Jim. That was awesome. Bryce Turner didn't do as good as I thought maybe he would do in those questions, but good for him. Well, it's Canada Day, and we're glad to have you watching FloCollege, brought to you by Visit SylvanLake.ca. Lots and lots of games on tap. Couple doubleheaders to be included. Saskatoon Berries end up defeating the Regina Red Sox earlier on today, 5-3. Then in Fort McMurray, the start of the doubleheader, 7-6 over the Energy City Cactus Rats in Game 1. Right now, Fort McMurray is up 4-0 over Energy City, looking for back-to-back wins this evening. Then you take a look at Moose Jaw in the Miller Express, and they are down 9-2 against the Swift Current 57s in the bottom of the 6th. Then the Lethbridge Bulls are hosting the Weyburn Beavers 13-5. They beat the Beavers 13-5. They're in a doubleheader right now, still scoreless in the top of the second between the Bulls and the Beavers, if you can still keep up. And then the Brooks Bombers down to the Okotoks Dogs 2-0 right now in the bottom of the third inning. Right here at Gulls Field, the Medicine Hat Mavericks are up 3-2 over the Sylvan Lake Gulls. We are in the top half of the 5th inning, and great to have a familiar face joining us in the broadcast booth. Jimmy, come on up here.
Yeah.
Jimmy Pelche, ladies and gentlemen. Jimmy, great to see you. Unfortunate circumstances why you're up here. Maybe you could tell us why, but what's the plans for Jimmy Pelche in the next couple weeks?
Thank you for having me, guys.
Yeah.
The plan in the next couple weeks is going to be going home, rehabbing my arm as much as possible.
Yeah.
And hoping to be able to go back to college and play in the fall. Yeah.
That's fair. So you're done playing baseball with the Sylvan Lake Gulls for the season, unfortunately.
Yeah.
Just talk a little bit about what this season has done for you with the Gulls. What your takeaway was from playing up here in Sylvan Lake.
I think the biggest takeaway is just noticing how important it is to play in front of a crowd that really cares about the team they're supporting.
Yeah.
It's awesome to be a part of this culture. It's awesome to be part of this community. I think that's the biggest thing I'm going to take away from playing here is just awesome to be here and being supported by pretty much 2,000 people every day. So
I love it.
Now, Alberta is where this league is kind of centered, Alberta and Saskatchewan. But you're from La Belle Province, Quebec, and they've got some pretty good baseball out there. They've always had a pretty good tradition, haven't they?
Yeah. I mean, the baseball in Quebec is great. I think it's not as developed as here, honestly, but the fans come out to the games in Quebec as well.
Mm-hmm.
It's a different type of support. They show love in a different way, but no, it's great over there as well. It's two different experiences, but both are absolutely awesome. So
now we can't let you go without even asking this, because you had your parents here in Sylvan Lake, right down by the Gulls dugout there, right in the corner, with a sign that somebody had made for them with your name on it, and then you go and hit a grand slam right in front of them. You couldn't have scripted that any better.
No, yeah. I mean, I was thankful enough for my host family to make me 2 beautiful signs to support me during my last couple games here, and thankfully, I mean, I have a love for drama, and I guess that's what happens. So, yeah, I decided to be that game, and on top, I guess the cherry on top is I was using a bat that said "for mom and dad" on it. I didn't tell anyone, but yeah, that was my first time using the bat during that game.
Really?
So yeah, full circle moment. There you go. My parents
wow.
right there.
There's the sign.
Yep.
That's awesome.
RMVP, where's number 14?
There you go.
Great. Yeah,
I hope you're number 14. No, you aren't. I'm just kidding.
Yeah.
I'm just kidding.
No, that's good stuff.
Great.
I mean, what was it like to have them here too in Sylvan Lake? What were their
Oh,
thoughts and
you
takeaways
got
on
'em.
this? No, they're calling him safe. And I think Rowan O'Connor knows that he got the tag in there ahead of time, but Medicine Hat will get the benefit of the call there as we take a look at the Herstow Property Management replay. Great throw by McLeod, and you know what? Yeah,
I think maybe that might have been a...
Yeah, that was
Yeah.
close. That was close.
I think they
Our,
had
our
him.
new analyst here.
I think they had him, yeah.
In both languages.
Je pense qu'il l'avait. Oui.
There
But
we
yeah,
go.
what were your parents' takeaways to Sylvan Lake this year?
To be fair, they just love it.
Yeah.
They want me to come back next year. I think they saw I was super well supported.
Mhm.
So yeah, they'd be happy to have me back here next year. Hopefully, they
great.
love it. Yeah.
So your last at bat, you had 2 RBIs, just a nice base hit late in that game on Sunday afternoon against Swift Current, the 8-0 win. Is there something to be said when you can leave on a good note like that? Oh, a nice throw over to first. They got him, but then
He's off.
And
There.
he's off. He's off.
There you
So
go.
they called it.
There it is.
Just like that. Big play for the Gulls defensively. 2 outs. Just like that.
Great
Some
awareness
Great throw in
from,
across the diamond there.
Great awareness from Bryce over that first base.
Yep, Bryce Turner with a bullet over to third base. So we've got 2 new players out here, Jimmy. Shortstop, Tai Yakamoto, and then the right fielder, Kyle Lewis. Do you know anything about either of these gentlemen?
I had the chance to play against Tai Yukimoto at Gonzaga this year, since we were in the same conference, and I also had the chance to meet him because he's going to be taking the host family spot I was in.
Oh,
so
okay.
I've been spending the last couple 24 hours with him. Great guy. Honestly, he's an awesome dude. I think he's going to be a great addition to the team. He's a great culture guy. I think he's going to be awesome. I just met Kyle in right field today. Also think he's going to be a great addition. seems to be a driven guy. Also think he's got some speed to him. So it's going to be great to see that in the lineup, yeah.
Well, he's definitely got a strong arm because we watched him make a throw from as he's running towards the foul territory and turns around and fires it back into second.
Yeah, I've heard a lot of great things about him. I think Tyler Boudreau played with him a couple years back, so he thinks he's an awesome guy. So can't wait to see him out there. Yeah.
And Ty Boudreau, he knows everybody.
yeah, sounds like it. Yeah.
Pretty sure that guy runs Sylvan Lake sometimes.
So is baseball in the future, or do you have the plan B backup in just in case something doesn't work out?
I mean, ride the wave of the dream for as long as you can.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, baseball is definitely up in the dream, and I have a good backup plan as well.
What are you taking in school? I'm going to ask.
I'm doing engineering, so putting all the chances on my side as of after baseball career. Yeah.
Engineers. Okay. I got an engineer joke for you. You'll appreciate this.
Boy, here we go.
So these guys were playing golf, and the pro came out and said, "These 4 guys in front of us, they're firefighters, and they've been involved in several big blazes, and they put their life on the line. So some of them have some injuries. So give them a little, breathing room. Don't play up on them, that sort of thing." And one of the guys in the crowd says, "Well, yeah, that's okay with me." And the other guy says, "Oh, yeah, that's okay." And the engineer goes, "Why don't they just play at night?" Uh-huh.
Oh, wow.
Is that what an engineer would say?
I hope not. I hope not. Yeah. Yeah,
boy.
hopefully not.
Those jokes they don't get better. I was going to say it, now they don't get better.
Oh, yeah, they do. I'm just warming up.
Yeah, they don't really get much better.
Don't you worry about a thing. So now are you fluent in both languages?
Yeah.
Jimmy?
So French is my first language, and I'm grateful enough to have parents that raised me in both. So my mom taught me English really early on, and I think she did a really good job at it. And now being able to spend time in the United States, I guess I get the English part way better now. But yeah, fluent in both.
You do quite well. Now I've got to ask this question as we go, and is that Rowan O'Connor is at the plate here for the Gulls to lead things off here in the bottom of the 5th inning. When I was in school, we would take French. What was it? Écoutez et parlez.
Yep.
That was the book.
Yep.
And I kept thinking in English and trying to understand French. Is that how you learned English? Or were you a little more, a lot smarter than I was in learning another language?
They perfected the way to teach another language, I think, in Quebec. I think they're doing an awesome job, as if I don't really think in French anymore when I speak English. I just speak, and my mind is in English. I just get the sentences out there. Yeah.
I know what that's like. That's pretty impressive.
Yeah.
I still have trouble with the English language.
Yeah.
So we all do. Yeah. Some of us are.
I speak English and I speak Dad.
Yeah.
Dad, I'm okay with.
I've made up my own language a couple times.
Yeah.
That too. But I got to ask you, now that you're going home for the summer, with all this time off, what's on the list for Jimmy Pelche? Are you a beach guy? Do you like to get out on the lake? What do you like to do back home if you can, now that you got the summer off?
Yeah, I mean,
this is grounded out to short. We'll just take a quick break. Volcano over to first in time for the first out.
In the summer, I mean, I'm a really serious guy about my business. I usually just go train in the morning.
Well.
And then, I'm going to enjoy some time with my friends back home, definitely. I have the friends that I had back home that were in college as well. I'm going to have the chance to see them again. Might be able to DH for a league back home, so might have the chance to do that as well.
Nice.
But, yeah, that's the big plan, just making sure I get my shoulder back ready.
Just focus all baseball.
Yep. Spend time with the family as well.
I love it. Well, that's good. That's good. Shout out to your parents, by the way. Are they back
yeah,
home?
They're still out there. Yeah.
Okay. Oh,
yes.
right on. There you go. Still taking it all in.
Yeah.
Enjoying the last days of Sylvan Lake.
Exactly.
Not a bad day to
be here.
No,
exactly. Grounded down to third, and we fired that. That was Tyler Veneste firing that across the diamond. That was another close play over at first base here.
Yeah, some good wheels there by Noah Connings.
Oh boy.
That was close.
That was the crew chief, Rob Allen, and Cam Diaz is telling him, well, this is what you missed.
Yeah.
That was safe. Now, do you know Cam Diaz very well?
I mean, I've spent a couple weeks with him by now, but you get to know him pretty fast. Yeah, he's a great guy. Awesome. Probably one of the the best social guy we have on the team, I think.
Okay.
Yeah. So he's a great guy.
He's always talking.
Yeah, he's definitely a more vocal, kind of a jokester. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Now we always ask this of the guys, and now you've been here for a while, and so you probably know, who's the funniest guy on the team?
I think I'm gonna have to go with Cam Diaz.
Okay.
Yeah.
Who thinks he's the funniest guy on the team?
I think it's Cam Diaz.
Same guy.
That's
Oh,
ripped
hit
through the
ball.
legs. The second baseman Carter Roth, as Tai Yukamoto, gets himself a base hit. I think they're going to call that a base hit.
Yeah, oh, absolutely. I think that was just a perfectly well-placed
Scorer,
ball.
Mr. Peltier, would you score that, a base hit or
It
an
is
error?
a base hit.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I would score that a base hit.
Okay.
So if that's the case, Yukamoto gets his very first base hit as a Sylvan Lake Gull.
So you obviously can handle the bat. When you're out in the field, what do you like? Where do you like where you're playing? Would you ever be a pitcher if you want?
I pitched for a long time.
Did you?
I
Okay.
had to stop.
Okay.
And ironically enough, because of the sensitivity of my arm.
Oh boy. Okay.
Yeah. So no, I like playing the left side of the infield. I enjoy playing shortstop and third base a lot. So yeah.
Mhm. And you definitely like to hit the ball, but who doesn't, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
That's the fun part.
Yeah.
Well, that's 3 straight throws over to first base there on Yukamoto. They're keeping him checked closely at first.
Hard to steal on a lefty, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. It takes. I mean, I think that's what differentiates good runners from bad runners. Being able to steal on a lefty, I think. Yep.
Because we always judge by if they get just past that cutout at first. If they get a couple of steps past that, we figure they're either really fast or they don't worry about getting back to first.
Yeah. I guess that'd be pretty accurate to describe how, especially that cutout out there is pretty far.
Yeah.
Usually you use it kind of as a marking point for where you want to take your lead, but yeah, that one's pretty far. I've kept myself kind of inside that cutout, even though I consider myself a fast guy. But yeah.
Okay.
Well, Jim and I usually always mark that cutout as when people get a lead off on that cutout or more, chances are they're stealing, or chances are they're going to get thrown out. Because it's, like you said, it's quite a ways away to get back to first after taking such a big lead.
Yeah.
So maybe we should try with Monsieur Peltier some of the questions I asked our Americans.
Oh, yeah.
And to say, okay, did a Canadian invent this? So here's the first one.
I didn't do so good. Don't worry.
Okay. I hope none of those guys came and gave you all the answers because they
I haven't heard of those.
Okay. So this is, did a Canadian invent this? So we're talking food here.
Yeah.
As we'll let this 3-1 pitch go, and that's fouled off by Bryce Turner. So did a Canadian invent this? Peking duck, Mediterranean salad, or Hawaiian pizza?
Hawaiian pizza is Canadian,
There you
right?
go. There you go.
Yeah.
You're 1 for 1.
Yeah. It's a trick one, but yeah.
Yeah, well, I'll give you another tricky one here in a second here. 3-2 the count now on Turner, and he sends this out of play. So did a Canadian invent hockey, pickleball, or basketball?
Is it basketball?
It's basketball.
Yeah.
Nailed
There
it.
you go.
There you go.
I fooled
Nailed it.
this gentleman at the plate here. He was one of my guests, so we just had him on our screen here, and he got the basketball one wrong, and he's from Indiana,
And he's a big basketball guy.
where
yeah.
basketball is like rules.
Can't happen.
Big. Now, I'm not sure what the catcher, Jaden Babiak, is pointing down to first base for some reason. There's a discussion going on.
Yeah, I think he was trying for the check swing there.
Okay, I don't know that there was.
I didn't see a check swing from Bryce Turner, but
No.
regardless, that'll get 2 base runners on with 2 out. And Tai Yukamoto is going to be in scoring position. Let's take a look at the swing here by Bryce Turner.
Oh,
okay,
no.
there was a check swing, but it wasn't even close. And
Not
the catcher
even
thought maybe he went around, but that'll bring up Brock Tiarina after this meeting on the mound.
So who's your major league team, Jimmy?
Growing up in Canada, I have to go with Toronto.
Okay.
Jays.
Yeah.
Yeah, now you obviously are not old enough to remember the Montreal Expos,
but I've heard
But you've
I've heard of
heard.
them. Yeah.
Heard good stories.
Is there still stuff around the Montreal area talking about the Expos possibly coming back?
I mean, there's always the believers.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, we pretty much know our hopes are dead.
Oh,
Yeah, it's sad. It's sad,
It is.
unfortunately.
And I still remember now, and this is me being an old guy here, but the 1981 season where they went on strike, the Montreal Expos and the Toronto Blue Jays were headed on a collision course to meet in the World Series. They were two of the best teams on either side of the ledger there. And this is just me being a conspiracy theorist, but I'm sure that, well, I'm saying that there was somebody going around saying, we better strike because we can't have two Canadian teams meet in the World Series.
No, that would have been God.
No.
Who knows? Who knows what would happen?
I couldn't believe it. I thought, this is one of the best seasons the Expos are having, and oh my God.
Yeah,
it's just,
that's so unfortunate.
yeah, they were. I still think it's one of the best logos.
Yeah, I truly think this is one of the best looking logos they had in
Yeah.
history. Yeah.
Yeah. And they had some really good players over the years.
Yeah.
Guys that Randy
Bunch.
Johnson always comes to mind, the big unit throwing. Would you like to bat against him?
Absolutely not. If there's one thing I hate is facing lefties.
Oh, okay. Yeah, because he's a lefty.
Yeah, no, I mean, and
And
he's also a tall,
6'8".
yeah, tall, lanky,
Throws
hides the
100.
ball. Yeah, no.
Yeah. Hides the ball too. Yeah.
Yep. Now, as a righty, that's kind of my fear. Is just don't like those at all.
Because it's coming at you more times than not, isn't it? Yeah, I didn't. I was a lefty, so right-handers always bothered me. Left-handers, I just kind of they throw away from me all the time. So
Yeah.
not because I was dangerous, they just couldn't hit the plate. That's all. I'm not trying to pump my tires here, kind of thing. So,
Yeah.
so when you say hide the ball, now is that something you see in this league where guys kind of tailor their wind up to hide it a little bit, just kind of get that advantage?
Yeah, I mean, funny enough, when you get to college, I guess most guys work on those things because those are things that matter. I mean,
Yeah.
being able to get that vision, throw off the batter's vision, I think that's something important in today's pitching world, and it kind of stops batters from being able to guess what's coming to them. So I think it's a really important thing. Yeah, I guess more and more people are trying to work on that. Yeah.
Okay. So 3-2 the count here on Brock T Arena. And I'm going to ask our guest here. Oh, that goes right over the catcher's head, Jaden Babiak. And everybody moves up. So we've got runners on second and third now with 2 down. The Gulls looking to move into a 3-3 tie here. And the young man that's coming up to the plate right now.
Not a guy you want to come up to the plate if you're Medicine Hat. So that's, Jaden Flores that'll be coming to the plate. Jim, as you mentioned.
I was just going to ask about Jaden Flores, your teammate.
Yeah.
That's quite the hot bat, isn't it?
Yeah, no, he's an awesome hitter. I had the chance to be around him a bunch, and he's a great guy, kind of a quiet guy, but when he talks about how he hits, he knows what he's doing.
He knows what he's doing. All right, well, we know what we're doing. We're going for a break, and we'll be back. How do you like that? Not every day. Third baseman Jaden Flores will now come in to face the new pitcher, who is Mr. Clark?
Xander Roberts, and Xander is from Augusta, Kansas, and he goes to Tabor College. And he's on the mound right now. Bases loaded, 2 away. Jaden Flores, 2 for 2 on the night. And yeah, we just asked our very own guest up here in the broadcast booth joining us for the very first time before he heads home, number 14, Jimmy Pelche, who says he will be back. You can count on it, as he wants to be. Jimmy, yeah, I mean, you've got to know some of these guys and everything like that. You know, what's, you know, who stands out to you to be one of your closest buddies so far this year?
I do believe my best friend on the team is Simon Baker.
Okay.
We have a couple relatives, so
Nice.
he's played with a couple of my guys back home.
Okay.
So I truly believe he's one of my,
There you
he's
go.
one of the closest guys
Love
out
it.
here. Yeah.
Nice. Good. And Jaden Flores lifts this into shallow left field, and that will do it for the inning. So Medicine Hat escapes, bases loaded, and will remain on top 3-2. We'll be back with more baseball at the top of the 6th when we come back.
Joining me, infielder Matt Brandt from Dallas, Texas. Matt, and we're going to test your Canadian knowledge. Did a Canadian invent this? And I'm going to give you some choices here. Hawaiian pizza, Mediterranean salad, or Peking duck?
We're going to go Hawaiian pizza.
Run for one. There you
Oh.
go. Number 2, mayonnaise, ketchup, or peanut butter?
We're going to go peanut butter.
Peanut butter. He's 2 for 2,
Oh.
folks. He's 2 for 2. Hockey, pickleball, or basketball?
Pickleball.
Basketball.
Oh.
That one trips up the Americans every time.
I thought that was it.
That's it. And the last one, MRI, X-ray, or pacemaker?
We'll go with X-ray.
It was pacemaker.
Oh,
so
2
for 4 at the
Batting
plate.
500. That's
Not
Hall of
bad.
Fame.
There you go, Brett.
Thank you.
Well, there's your pitcher on the mound. That is Reese Usselman from, well, just let me look it up here quickly. I said it too soon before I could even catch up. And he's from Langley, BC, goes to Hutchinson Community College. And he's going to come in relief for Matthew McKenzie, who pitched 5 innings. And Matthew McKenzie, a little bit off to a slow start. Medicine Hat greeted him with some pretty good at-bats. But you know what? He settled himself in, and then he got himself into some really good innings of work, not really giving up a run for the last 4 innings of work that he had. And he had a pretty good night to finish things off as he gets the handshake there from Matt Ape. So Usselman comes in and will look to keep this game a close one as the Gulls still find themselves down 3-2 against the Medicine Hat Mavericks. Jimmy Pelchier, Jim Cleggett up here in the broadcast booth with you. You're watching Gulls Baseball on FloCollege, brought to you by visitsylvanlake.ca.
This is Carter Roth leading things off here in the top of the 6th inning. Mavericks with a 3-2 lead over the Sylvan Lake Gulls. And Jimmy, maybe you can comment on this. Now, we've seen the Gulls over that 6-game homestand win 6 straight, and it seemed to me that all 6 of those wins was different in some way, shape, or form and how it came about. Would you agree with that?
Yeah, I would agree with that. Yeah, I mean, contributions from all sides of the ball to win those 6 games. Those 2 first games against Miller Express were won again with good pitching and good hitting. I think both sides of the ball were played really well. And then obviously those Brooks games, don't want to be biased, but great hitting overall.
Great hitting, says the guy with a grand slam. Yeah,
and
I hear you.
Yeah, and then great pitching performance against the 57. So yeah, overall different games, but great outcomes overall.
Is that kind of the identity, do you think, of this team, is where, you get down early maybe and no panic?
Yeah, I think the biggest part of this team is even if things go south really early, we have a good enough lineup offensively to be able to back it up. If our relievers can keep us in the game, I think we're in a really good spot.
Full count here on Carter Roth, and that's flied out to shallow right field, and that is a grab by the new guy, Kyle Lewis. He kind of floated over there, didn't he?
Yeah, and I think he kind of waited to the last second to finally call people off when he was probably the best one to get under that ball for a catch. But yeah, good catch nonetheless.
So who, in your opinion, who has priority there? Who gets to call that they've got it or calling anybody off?
I think early on, one of the infielders can call it without any issue, but as soon as the right fielder speaks, they better get out of the way.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because he's coming in.
Yeah, he's coming in. He sees the whole play in front of him. He's been reading the ball off the bat over there the whole time. So.
Okay.
Yeah, I think it's a.
I think that's kind of why you saw Rowan O'Connor putting a really good charge, trying to get there in time, but it made more sense for the right fielder to get there first.
There's another one to Lewis, and a little stumble on the takeoff, but he goes, yeah, I'm good. How do you like playing on this field?
This is an awesome facility.
Isn't it something?
It's a great. I mean, I don't want to take anything away from anywhere, but great facility. It's up there with what I've been around in college. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
No, yeah, it's awesome, and obviously having everybody here, the fans and the crowd being loud, it's awesome.
Boy, yeah. Well, I remember talking to Reese Usselman when he first came in, and he was a little nervous. And I said, well, what was making you nervous? He said, well, look at all the people here. And were you feeling the same way?
Yeah. I mean, at first, being in front of that big of a crowd, especially when you're not used to it.
Yeah.
It is a shock, but you learn to embrace it and go with it, actually. So.
Yeah. Well, they're all behind you, that's for sure.
Oh, yeah.
And Usselman gets the call on the outside corner. 0-2 the count with 2 down here on the catcher for the Mavericks, Jaden Babiak. 3-2, Medicine Hat leads. Here we are in the top half of the 6th inning. The Mavs with 2 runs in the first and 1 in the second. The Gulls came back and got 2 in the third, or 2 in their second, but Reese Usselman strikes out Jaden Babiak to bring the inning to a close. No runs, no hits, and nobody left on base. And we are through 5.5 here. The Gulls trailing 3-2. Bottom half of the 6th inning here. Sylvan Lake trailing the Medicine Hat Mavericks by a score of 3-2. Leading things off here in the bottom half of the 6th inning is the right fielder, the newcomer to the Gulls, Kyle Lewis. from Lubbock, Texas.
Couple nice grabs out in right field in that last inning.
Yeah. I think, coming to a new team, and Jimmy, you can obviously weigh in on this, you got to find your way around the hierarchy in the team kind of thing. Did you find that was easy to do?
It's always hard at first coming into an environment where it's all college players, right?
Yeah.
So you get there, everybody's kind of got their own ego. You get to the field the first time. Everybody's in the clubhouse. Nobody's really talking to each other.
Oh, really?
But yeah,
Quite the frame right there.
And then a couple of days in, the personalities come out, and then you find who you get along with better, and from there you just ride the wave.
That's true.
Yeah.
That's true.
Well, that last strikeout on Kyle Lewis was good credit to Jaden Babiak with an unreal frame on that ball. I think that was that ball went on the other side of the batter's box of the other line there, and Babiak just framed it perfectly. This is grounded over to Vanesti, and he gets it over in time for 2 quick outs for Medicine Hat on the Sylvan Lake Gulls. Bottom of 6, we're here with, again, Jimmy Pelche, player of the Sylvan Lake Gulls, going to be going home to do some rehab on the arm, and then he'll be in tip-top shape for next season, hopefully. So good to have you again join us in the broadcast booth, Jimmy, as you wrap things up. You were mentioning off air, you're going to go to the Calgary Stampede. You're going to check things out for a little bit. You guys don't head back to Quebec until Saturday, is that right?
Exactly, yep.
Okay, so what else is on the list for other than the Calgary Stampede? Anything else that you guys
Probably
are do?
enjoy the beach, enjoy the lake as much as I can. Enjoy being around the teammates for the last couple of days, and might go to dinner with the family.
There you go.
Yeah.
Might as well spend some time with them, huh?
Yeah.
I guess if they're here, you may as well.
Yeah.
First time at the Stampede?
Yeah.
It will be?
Yeah.
Okay, I'm going to give you a little insider tip.
Oh.
If you go there and you see the chuck wagons, if
Mhm.
you're going to watch the chuck wagon races, go down to the infield and right up against the fence for the start of a race. And you will be, I think you will be, impressed and amazed by the thunder that you feel under your feet when all those horses take off.
Wow.
It is a thrill.
I feel like I have to go now.
Now I think you should. It's something that always amazed me when I was working at Stampedes and that sort of thing. But
yeah, I'll check it out.
Yeah, 5-3. That's what you put on your scorecard as Tyler Vanesti makes the out there. 3 up, 3 down. And we're through 6 complete. Medicine Hat coming to bat.
New substitution out in left field for the Sylvan Lake Gulls, and that is number 38, Simon Baker, getting some field work in as he replaces Price Hampton. And Simon Baker, as we know, he's been pitching a little bit. Now he's playing a little bit of defense in the field as well. From Cochrane, Alberta, goes to Gonzaga University. And we'll see if he gets in any action early in this 7th inning as the Medicine Hat Mavericks at the plate now, up 3-2 over the Gulls, and getting out hit by the Gulls though. 5-3. Gulls with the 1 error so far in this game. Musselman with the pitch, and that goes off back foul into the parking lot.
So now you know Simon. You say he's your buddy.
Yeah.
Again, Jimmy Pelche in the broadcast booth.
Yeah, Jimmy Pelche here with us. A lot of tools in that kit, isn't there?
Yeah, I mean, awesome kid overall. He's a great guy, and I think he's got everything to go really far into the sport. Just an impressive guy overall. Look at him.
He's a physical specimen.
Look at him.
Yeah.
That's what you call, ladies and gentlemen, a man crush. No,
Yeah.
a bromance.
Oh, I don't mind that at all.
No.
I'm just kidding.
I get you on
I'm
that
just
one.
kidding.
Oh, 0-2 pitch, and Reese Usselman was thinking, that was pretty good pitch. I don't know why he didn't swing at that, or you didn't call that. So, I mean, the other night Simon just showed what he can do. He hits a home run, and then he lays down a perfect bunt and beats it out.
Yeah.
The kid is incredible. I mean, he's got the offense, he's got the defense. He can hit 96 on the gun for somebody that doesn't pitch normally. I mean, he's obviously more and more wanting to pitch. He wants to pitch in college, he tells us. So it's just incredible what this guy can do. And like, it's really you get to that point. It's like, what can't he do, right?
Exactly. Yeah.
So 2-2 the count here on Evan Morrison. He's 0 for 2 on the night, facing Reese Usselman, and that's outside. So from 0-2, Morrison has worked the count to 3-2.
So Jim might have asked you this already earlier on the broadcast. I can't remember if you did or not, but favorite position that you like to play that you prefer?
I think it's third base. Yeah.
Third base?
Yeah.
Okay.
That's a hell of a throw from third base.
Yeah. No, I get to use my tools out at third base. I think I'm a quick reaction guy, and then my arm, obviously, when it's healthy.
Yeah. Of course.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then just to be accurate too. I mean, that's a long throw to make, and you got to be. You don't have a lot of room for error.
No, exactly. I guess it's a really dynamic position. There's always action down there in the hot corner.
Yeah,
so
hot
that's
corner,
right.
Yeah.
So what do you do in your mind to decide I'm going to try and throw it right across the diamond, or I'm going to bounce it to the first baseman? As this is laid down to Reese Usselman, and he fires it over to first to make the play.
To answer your question.
Yeah.
Honestly, it really depends on how your feet are set.
Okay.
I guess if your momentum is going towards the foul line, it's always more optimal to go for the hop. Use the field as much as you can, especially on a turf surface like we have here.
Yeah.
But if you're able to move your feet, get your momentum going towards first base, I always go for the chest and aim for that part.
That's where you're going, right at the chest, huh?
Yep. Try to aim for as little as possible. So
that's what they kind of teach in just even playing catch with anybody, right? You want to aim, look at the chest, and that's your aimage point.
You can even narrow it down. Try to look at one letter and specifically on the shirt that you're throwing to.
Is that right? Eh?
Yeah.
Wow.
Really?
From that far away?
Yeah. I mean, aim small. Aim small.
I don't know. Jim can see letters from that far away. Can you, Jim?
No, I'd have to. They'd have to paint them really big.
So
big, like triple letters on.
Had to get a
kind
dig
of
in there somewhere. Right?
Oh, that's okay. That's okay.
This guy dug at me all last week. Like, I forgot the sunscreen one day. They didn't let me down for it, so a little payback, a little bit of a payback.
It's amazing how somebody who's kind of pasty white forgets about sunscreen, but I mean, and then he sits up here, Jimmy. He sits up here with his arms like this.
Well, yeah.
And I go, "What are you doing?" He goes, "Well, I'm trying to get a suntan on."
Look how white that is.
Did you not learn your lesson from the burn on your face? What do you think's going to happen to your arms?
Evening it out.
Evening it out. Okay.
See, this guy.
Don't help him.
See, this guy.
Yeah.
Jimmy, you can hang out up here all week, buddy.
I used to
door's open. The door is
awesome.
open. I got a friend to back me up now.
I used to like you, Jimmy.
Love it.
2-1 the count here on Micah Dvorak. And a nice off-speed pitch there.
That's a good pitch.
By Reese Usselman. We haven't seen much of Reese. What do you think of the young man on the mound, your teammate there?
First of all, great person, great teammate, good guy to have around. But I think he's also a guy that has a lot of tools. He's really athletic, also looks really strong.
Oh, yeah.
And he masters a lot of his pitch as well. So, yeah, there you go.
Wow. He gets a little bit of the siren here at the Gulls field with that strikeout.
Yeah.
Let's take a look at this Hearthstone Property Management replay, Jimmy. And what do you see on that? Just a nice cut down low?
That curveball looks like a nightmare.
Yeah.
Yep.
Is that the hardest one to hit, the curve?
I think for lefty on lefty especially, I think it's the one pitch you don't want to have to face.
Mm-hmm.
So.
Well, Matt Hape's making a trip out to the mound here.
Just allowing his pitcher in the bullpen to warm up. Maybe unless he's coming in, actually.
Oh, that's Thor,
that's
Thor the Thunder God is
right.
coming in.
Well,
Yeah. The hair.
Is he coming out? Maybe not.
I think he is.
Well, I haven't seen the
He's
ball
walking
being
through the
taken
gate.
yet. Okay.
There it is.
He's got to open the gate first. There
Now
we go.
Matt, they're still talking on the mound. Usselman hasn't left yet.
Yeah, well, they're lined up waiting to
Looks like
congratulate.
it, so. Anyway, that'll do it for Usselman. As we mentioned, Thor coming to the mound. We will step aside. We'll take a quick break. We'll be back with the rest of this inning when we come back. Well, there's a new pitcher on the mound for the Sylvan Lake Gulls. That is, well, what some might call Thor, but we call number 39, Jacob Rochelle, in on the mound, coming in really for Usselman. And he's got 2 outs already to work with at the top of this 7th inning. Runner at second in scoring position. And at the plate is Jeremy Freeman Jr., who has been walked twice so far today.
Well, 2 down here in the inning. And as you mentioned, Jacob Rochelle in to pitch. And, of course, the
Sunshine.
we throw the nickname out, Thor, the Thunder God, but the always shy and introverted Hunter Jones, who hardly talks to anybody, said, no. Remember the Titans.
Yeah.
Sunshine, the long-haired blonde kid from California. There he is right there, and he's from California.
Yeah, makes sense.
Does that nickname fit, do you think, Jimmy? Oh.
He has taken the nickname Sunshine from Rowan O'Connor.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Rowan gave that.
Yeah.
Okay.
So.
Nice.
Oh,
It's a good touch. Good touch.
And what's your nickname?
My nickname is actually Jimmy. It's not my real name, so.
I know. So your real name is Charles.
My real name's Charles.
Yes.
Yeah.
But you prefer Jimmy.
Yeah, everybody calls me Jimmy. Family, grand family, everybody.
Okay, it's just trying to figure out these, like, Noah Bourgeois. Bob? What?
Yeah.
Yeah,
No, that was a hard one to figure out, yeah.
But we did get the lowdown on it. And we figured it, well, his dad actually texted us, and then Noah Connings was his roommate, and he said we couldn't have 2 Noahs, as Kyle Lewis just
there you go.
makes that look real easy, like real easy. as he flows back and gets that 3 up, 4 up, 3 down. 1 man left on base. We are through 6.5. 3-2 Mavs lead. Gulls coming to bat.
Welcome back to Gulls Field. It is 3-2 Medicine Hat Mavericks over the Sylvan Lake Gulls. Well, it's been a busy stretch of home games for the Sylvan Lake Gulls. This is game number 7 of 9 in 11 nights, and you can take a look. Medicine Hat tomorrow night returns here at Gulls Field against the Mavericks yet again, so a rematch. And then, as you notice, the Energy City Cactus Rats will be here on Friday night before the Gulls then finally go on the road for 4 games, and then they return again back next weekend on the 10th against, yet again, the Brooks Bombers. And then also, not to mention, as we get another pitch here, Summer Send-Off is a pretty cool little event here at Pagato Park at Gulls Field, and it's a summer send-off. It's the best way to send off summer, if you ask me. August 23rd, you'll have Josh Ross. I don't know if Jimmy Pelche, do you know who Josh Ross is? Have you heard of his music?
Unfortunately, not.
Okay,
but
that's okay. Well, we'll teach you. We'll get you.
Awesome. Yeah.
We'll get you into his music. I promise you won't really hate it. I love it. I mean, it's just he's really catchy to listen to. But Josh Ross headlining. You got Gord Bamford here as well. I got everybody. Thank you though. So it's going to be a good party here, August 23rd. Get your tickets online at sylvanlakegulls.com. You can check out the Gulls Summer Send-Off website as well, as it's all put on by the Gulls Give Foundation. And, they do a great job. Just once baseball's done, why not have one last big event here at the ballpark? And it's a pretty cool place to have. They usually set up the stage, Jimmy, right at second base, so they get people on the field, people in the seats. It's a whole thing. So. Not bad. Rowan O'Connor over at first.
Yeah, did you notice a nice bunt there by Noah Connings? That's a skill that I have seen less and less of in Major League Baseball. But you guys seem to be able to do it a lot better than the Major Leagues guys do.
Yeah. I mean,
you learn it more.
Yeah. It was definitely a big part of the game. Yeah.
So speaking of learning, as we segue smoothly into what you were doing today with the junior camp, you were teaching these kids how to do that sort of thing and everything else in between, right?
No, the kids camp is an awesome opportunity for us players to actually learn how to teach what we love and to transmit our passion to younger kids who want to hopefully be in our shoes one day.
Mm-hmm. Do you find yourself when you're teaching these kids what to do that it triggers something in the back of your head, like, you know what, I should probably start doing a little more of that too?
Yeah. I mean, teaching the basics kind of reminds you that you got to go to the basics. When things get hard and things get complicated, you just got to come back to doing everything easy and kind of put your mind into that space where I've been a kid once.
Yeah, you're still a kid, Jimmy. You're still a kid. You got a long ways to go, my friend.
That's caught in foul territory by Micah Dvorak, but that advances the runner of Rowan O'Connor over to third.
Did you see when Rowan's at bat, he got called on ball 4, and he waited until he heard the call?
Yep.
It's like, nah, You don't
Smart
want to
man.
show up the umpire ever, do you?
No, you don't. I mean, it's always great to have the umpires on your side if I can. But yeah, not showing them up is a good idea in that case. Yeah.
Now you do a little leg sweep when you're at the plate yourself. We call it the Pelche. Do we call it Pelche swag, the sweep, whatever it might be? What do you like to call it?
I guess the name that Gavin gave it.
Yeah, what was Gavin?
You said the Peltier Shuffle.
The shuffle.
I love that idea.
Yeah, it's a great term. Now, have you ever have you ever gotten in trouble from umpires when you do your shuffle because they think you're maybe, I don't know, somehow calling against what they just said or whatever?
No, I usually only do it on balls or on strikes that I don't really agree on. So in that case, it could create an issue. But no, the biggest issue it's gotten me was a couple college players don't really like it, especially when you get an at-bat in a late game where the score is not really relevant and you go through your motion. It can piss people off.
Okay, fair enough.
Yeah.
And Bryce Turner sends this down to Tyler Veneste. The veteran third baseman for the Mavericks makes the play across the diamond. So a rally falls short for the Sylvan Lake Gulls. No runs on no hits. They leave one man on base. Through 7 complete, 3-2 Mavs. They're coming to bat. Well, we are back. Nice crowd on the berm. Isn't that a nice picture? And a new first baseman over at first base there is Matt Brandt. He likes to play golf and was one of my guests to try and solve the who it was a Canadian who invented, and we gave him 4 different things to answer. And Matt was one of them. He was a good sport. They were all good sports about it. I had to find 4 Americans. So, you know, that wasn't hard in that room. So there's a few. So Jacob Rochelle still on the mound here. He took over from Reese Usselman. And he's got a 3-2 lead. All the scoring, by the way, folks, done in the first 2 innings. 2 in the first and 1 in the second by the Mavs. And then the Gulls followed up with 2 in the bottom half of the second. And that's where we sit, 3-2. I thought we were going to be in for a slugfest. And, of course, I opened my mouth and said that, and now I'm wrong.
Yeah, great defense. I mean, this is what you kind of like to see, too. You like to see a little bit of a pitcher's duo, and, you know, it's kind of fun to kind of see a battle between the pitchers and just a really when the off. I mean, Jimmy Pelche is up here in the broadcast booth. Maybe you can speak to this, Jimmy. You know, what do you like to see in a ball game? Do you like to see games where you really earn a base hit or you really have to earn a run at all?
Yeah.
Or what's your favorite kind of
Just like
baseball?
you mentioned it earlier, I think the goals are great in that sense that we're able to play all type of games.
Yeah.
But the most enjoyable ones, in my opinion, are the ones that where you play with a lot of passion and it's hard to get anything going.
Yeah.
Yeah. That makes me think of that one game we had in Lethbridge that got up to the what is it, 11th, 12th inning?
Yeah, that's
yeah,
right.
that was, I mean, that's probably one of the best games I've been a part of over here. So
Nice.
You like that, the tension?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
no, it's great.
And trying to manufacture a run to win a game, that's always a skill.
Yep.
Like-
Yeah, I guess that's what differentiates good and bad teams, in my opinion.
I think you're right. I think you're right.
I
Two
can
and
tell
two
you
the
fans
count.
love it.
Oh, misses outside.
It's shaped up to be another good one here tonight as the Sylvan Lake Gulls and the Medicine Hat Mavericks play Canada Day evening matchup, one of two of this mini-series between the Mavericks and the Gulls. Rematch goes tomorrow night yet again, 7 o'clock. We'll have first pitch just shortly after 7. Watch the broadcast on FloCollege as that is hit well into center field, left center if you will, and that is caught, no problem there, by Noah Connings.
He covers a lot of ground, doesn't he?
Sure does. That's his office.
Well, that brings up the third baseman, the veteran Tyler Vanesti, who is 0 for 3 on the night. Usually he wields a pretty dangerous bat, but it's been his glove and his arm over at third base. As a third baseman, you got to like how a guy can handle the ball and make that throw across the diamond.
Yeah, no. I mean, as a third baseman, I got to appreciate when I see a good third baseman.
Yeah.
That's what he does out there, yeah.
I think I've asked these guys, they usually come and sit where you're sitting right now, and I just thought, you play against a lot of these guys in this WCBL, but you also play with some of these guys. How is that dynamic? I mean, does that mess you up a little bit, or does you just you cross the line and you go, that's the enemy over there right now, not my friend?
I think that's a big part of it in summer ball. It's being able to make the difference in when the game is on and when the game is off.
Mm-hmm.
Being able to be friends once the game is over or before the game starts, and then once that first pitch is thrown, you become enemies. And for 9 innings, you battle it out, and after those 9 innings, you're back.
That's a good catch there by a newcomer, Tai Yukamoto. That one was sinking quickly on him, but he got the glove on it to get the out. A nice little routine
well
play.
positioned.
Boom.
Yeah.
Those ones feel good, I'm sure. Do you like the line drives right to you at third base? Like, especially if they're in the air? He's like, no.
I mean,
absolutely not.
Usually when they're pulled my way by a righty, not
yeah,
really.
it's not fun. Eh? They come quick, don't they?
Yeah.
Yeah. Fair enough.
Okay.
Good answer.
And this is grounded down to Yukamoto, and he shows a strong arm and a pretty smooth delivery there. He's got a glove and an arm on him. That's a nice play there. 6-3 on the scorecard and 3 outs now. A 3-up, 3-down inning for Jacob Rochefield. And we are through 7.5. Gulls coming to bat.
Back at Gulls Field, the Sylvan Lake Gulls down to Medicine Hat 3-2. We are in the bottom half of the 8th inning, and this is Brock Tiarina, the DH, stepping up to the plate. Gulls looking to tie this game up would make things very interesting. And in the last inning, the 9th inning, heck, if they could even just pull by 1 run heading to the top of the 9th, then all pressure shifts to Medicine Hat. So we'll see what we got here in store as Tiarina is up in the count, 2-1. And on the dime, it is still number 9, Xander Roberts.
Yep.
Nice off-speed pitch there, 76 miles per hour.
So a bunch of zeros up there since the second inning was completed.
It's been a defensive effort by both teams.
Which makes it difficult on us mere mortals in here trying to pick a player of the game.
Sure does.
So we haven't actually tried to recruit Jimmy here. To
Yeah, we got our helper Jimmy Pelche to maybe try to help us find somebody in the amongst the roster.
And everybody's done a little bit.
Yeah, that's the thing. It's kind of been a full
That's the
team
part of
effort,
it.
as Jimmy's kind of alluded to earlier on in the broadcast. That that's just what the boys have been doing the last 7 games. Is everybody's kind of filling in when they need to.
Yeah.
Maybe we go with somebody who represents the team. Sully.
Yeah.
He'd be a
Maybe we
terrible
should just
interview,
give,
though.
Maybe we should just give Jimmy the player of the game since he's such
Since
a
the
good
guy's
broadcast.
out here, yeah,
he's
he's
filling
done a
in
great
pretty
job.
good. I don't know.
We haven't had a dud up here yet.
Yeah.
No.
Believe me, you
That
guys got so much personality as ball players, but as human beings as well. So, and Brock Tiarina just gets tied up by Xander Roberts on that pitch for a strikeout and the first out of the inning. That'll bring up the red hot Jaden Flores, who, he just keeps doing what he does. And as you mentioned, he knows what he's doing when he's got a bat in his hand, doesn't he?
No, he's got a lot of knowledge.
Yeah.
He knows what he's doing with his bat, and when he steps up to bat, you can tell he's confident up there.
He has that look, isn't it?
Yeah.
And he just sees the first pitch. He goes, yeah, I like that one.
Swing at it. Why not?
Yeah. Were you more of a first pitch swinger, or did you like to watch and see what the guys got?
I will say I've been both this season. I had a stretch where I was way too impatient. I was swinging at first pitches that weren't great, and then I came back and adjusted and took some at bats into some deep counts, and I think that worked out better for me. So if I had to pick, I would say I like to work at the plate a little bit. Yeah.
What determines your decision to swing at the first pitch, though?
I think it's
whether or not you're impatient or not.
I think it's just being really, really ready for it.
And that misses outside. 1-2 the count on Jaden Flores.
So as we take a look at Jaden Flores, he was announced Player of the Week from the Sylvan Gulls. 17 at-bats in 6 games, 8 runs, 8 hits, 6 RBIs, 2 home runs. What does that tell you, Jimmy? Numbers continue as that's a great grab over at third, and what a play. Wow.
Tyler Vanesti.
Holy cow. Medicine Hat just cannot allow the Gulls anything right now, and that is a just incredible throw by Vanesti, and even Flores with an incredible dive. I mean, he did everything he could to get there, and he can't believe it, I bet.
Give us an idea as a third baseman how hard that was.
Yeah.
That's a hard play to make. He was great in transition, getting up from that dive, being able to throw that ball into 2 steps. It was, as I said earlier, you got to be able to appreciate great things, and he's doing great things out there at third base.
There's such talent in this league, and it's just we've seen it from day one, and just how it's increased and gotten better right across the board, kind of thing. And that bodes well for somebody trying to make a name for themselves and move up the ranks in the colleges and that sort of thing, doesn't it not?
Yeah. I mean, I think this league is a beautiful platform to be able to showcase your skills and potentially just seek opportunities everywhere. Yeah.
We've had 2 guys drafted here from the Gulls last year, Nathan Flewelling and Owen Pote. And I saw today on the Blue Jays game, I was watching that, and they had a young guy who played, I think, with Weyburn. He was an outfielder, and they were showing some of his highlights, and my goodness, this guy was climbing the walls and everything else, and here's another WCBL grad. So it's interesting. Jamie Campbell from the Blue Jays broadcast was in here last year, and he just talks about how this league has just gotten better and better and better, and we just can't say it enough. And you're playing in it. You're seeing these guys. There's no slouches out there, are there? There's guys that can play the game.
No, yeah. I mean, that's what I've been hearing from guys that have been here for the past couple of years. You can see the evolution of the league and how great it's became. Yeah.
There you go. Well, we are through 8 complete, 3-2. Gulls trail Medicine Hat. The Mavericks are coming to bat.
Top of 9 is where we are at here in Sylvan Lake, Alberta, Canada. Happy Canada Day, baseball fans. Hope you're enjoying this one as much as we are on the Gulls broadcast, brought to you by visitsylvanlake.ca. You're watching FloCollege. You got Jim Claggett. I'm Cale Clark, and still in the broadcast booth for one last half of an inning anyways. We'll have Jimmy Pelche here in the broadcast booth saying one last hello before he heads home for the rest of the summer, and then hopefully a big return next season as a Gull player, and I'm sure you'll be an impactful player next year as well. From what we've seen already with the bat, we know you can swing it, and we're looking forward to having you back again already next year, Jimmy. So hope you enjoy Alberta while you're still here, buddy.
Yeah, thank you very much. I'll be excited to come back, and yeah, as you said it.
1-1 the count here on, I'll flip my page here.
Johnny
Volcano. I could have just said Volcano. There's 3 of them. I could have been, I would have been right. Jacob Rochelle with a nice pitch there to go up 1-2. On deck is the catcher, Jaden Babiak. I think we're making it tough for Jimmy to leave.
Yeah.
Because we're keeping him here, and he has no interest in leaving up here.
Oh,
I like that.
Making me feel welcomed up here, so.
Of course, buddy.
Well, thank you. We try. We like to say our door's always open, but actually it's locked. Well, it's not really locked. It's just closed.
Yeah.
So nobody can just walk in. Although it has happened.
Yeah.
You just never know what's going to go on here. 2-2 the count now. And Rochelle missing down low. The count now full on Johnny Volcano, the shortstop for the Mavericks.
0 for 3 so far on the day, and flown out to right field both times, and a strikeout. So keeping it away from probably key on this pitch, and that's exactly what they tried to do, but he takes the walk. And Medicine Hat gets on base with their first hitter of the night, of the innings. So that not maybe how you want to start the top of the 9th if you're the Gulls. A little bit of work to be done now with Jaden Babiak stepping up to the plate, and Matt Hape's going to come out and just get everybody on the same page here. Now when a pitching coach comes out like this and has a little bit of a meeting on the mound, you're from third base, Jimmy. What's said? Is there anything really said to the rest of the infield guys?
Okay.
Not really.
Not really. Okay.
No, not when you're.
It's just more coach, pitcher, catcher, and you guys are just witnessing and watching things and.
Yeah, trying to get your pitcher to a little bit more motivation when times get rough, but
yeah.
Out there it's not much said to the infielders by the coach. If any situation comes up, for example, the first and third, then if we have to adjust something, then yeah. But other than that, in summer ball, you kind of figure it out.
Yeah, fair enough.
Yeah.
Fair enough. Well, as you just saw on your screen, Big Bess was warming up in the bullpen, so maybe he might be coming in at some point if he needs to.
I got to ask this, though, and this is just my own conspiracy theory rolling around in my head. Do the guys stand on the mound and just wait and see how far the umpire gets before they decide they're going to break up the meeting? Let's see if we can get, how close can we get him?
Yeah.
No, really? Okay.
Yeah, I mean, the pitching coach always try to push as much as he can, I guess. Yeah.
I always think it's just so funny. Like, why not just stay at the plate and say, okay, guys, break it up? Does he have to go all the way out to the mound?
I guess a little bit more authority. I think that's what it is.
He stretches his legs too. We give him. Put a chair back there, I guess, if you had to.
Yeah.
I don't know. One of those things, right?
Yeah. No.
Jaden Babiak is the batter there with the base runner over at first in Johnny Volcano, and that misses as Babiak squared to bunt. So if you're the coach, Monsieur Peltier, what is your strategy in the bottom of the 9th inning? Down 1.
Good question.
Putting him on the spot. Well, it looks like it looks like Medicine Hat's playing small ball right now.
That's going to roll foul.
It's just to advance the runner, but yeah.
If you can have a runner on early, if it's a fast runner, maybe put a pinch runner in that could potentially steal a base, get on second base without any outs, and then use that second batter that comes up to be able to put down a bunt and put your team in a good position.
Okay.
Where the only thing you have to do is lift the ball. If things don't go that way, you pray for a hit.
Pray for the big ball, the
Yep.
long
Put
ball.
your hands together, bow your head, say a little prayer.
The circuit.
Or circuit, exactement.
I learned that watching the Montreal Expos because
Yeah.
we would get a lot of their broadcast en français.
Mm-hmm.
And I would sit there and go, okay, what is that? Well, now I kind of figure out. It was more hockey than anything.
More hockey and French, definitely.
Yeah. But the baseball was fine. Yeah.
So speaking of hockey, Montreal Canadiens, is that obviously your team to cheer on in the NHL?
It's a rough question to answer because my dad is a Nordiques fan. He grew up in Quebec City, so he taught me to hate the Canadians. But now that they're the only team in Quebec, I gotta support.
I'm glad I brought that up.
Yeah,
good stuff.
Yeah,
I still think they should bring a team back into Quebec City.
I fully agree with that one, though. Yeah.
Like and knocks the mask right off of Cam McLeod there. That foul ball, 2-2 the count on Jaden Babiak. So that was such a nasty rivalry. Have you seen any of the YouTube videos?
I've seen it all.
You've seen it all.
The Alain Cote goal, the big debate on if it was good or not in that playoff game. Yeah, no, it was a big rivalry. I think it'd be a great addition if they could bring it back.
I think so.
Yeah.
I just watched one the other day, and it was the two Hunter brothers, one on each team, and it was a bench clearing brawl, and the two Hunter brothers were going at it.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, well, they probably did anyways, you know.
They're brothers.
They're brothers, yeah.
Yeah.
Do you have any siblings?
I do. I have a younger brother and an older half brother.
Okay.
Younger brother plays ball back home, just not fully competitive, but just to keep it going. And older half brother is graduating PT, so yeah.
Okay.
So I have people to take care of me back home, especially my brother. Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Oh, there you go. So is that he's your go-to guy?
Yeah. I have him and another guy, but
That's perfect.
definitely part of my team. Yeah.
And you've got a pretty good guy down on the bench there, Rob Manka.
Yeah, he's an awesome guy.
Isn't he something?
No, yeah, he's really good, really easy to approach, and you're not scared to go to him with any little tweak you need. So, yeah, there you go.
There's Robbie.
Yeah, Robbie
Rob.
and his summer student.
Yeah.
A full count here on Babiak and a defensive swing there as Rochelle comes inside with that pitch. It's like, get out of the way or swing at it and hit it.
That was a pitch I was not expecting Babiak to turn on.
I think he feared for his life.
Yeah, I think so.
I think you're right. Nobody out and base runner over at first, and Rochelle and Babiak are having a battle here.
Are they ever? Babiak's doing a good job of just making Rochelle have to earn this out right now.
The kind of at bat you want to have in the ninth inning.
100%.
Make it rough for the pitcher.
Well, who has the advantage when you get foul ball after foul ball? Is it the pitcher? Is it the batter seeing more pitches?
I like to think that the pitcher has to put it in the box, so that little square, and the hitter's got to be ready to hit it. So I think the hitter has the advantage.
Okay.
Yeah.
And he's swinging defensively, just getting a bat on the ball
until he gets his pitch.
Yep. Okay.
That's the game you got to play.
Well, I know Madison Hat's dugout right now is pumped with the way he is staying alive in this at-bat. They're cheering him on loud and proud.
This is about what we expected between two top-tier teams in the WCBL.
It's time here. Trying to reset Rochelle.
Is that a mind game there?
I think
everything
that is
to throw him off. That's what I'm saying.
Absolutely.
Yeah, he's feeling confident up there in the box, and he's trying to do everything to throw off Rochelle. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Trying to look for either an easy walk or an easy hit.
The 3-2 pitch, and foul back again. That's got to be at least 6.
Yeah.
I haven't been counting, but
that's a lot of pitches so far on this guy. Yeah. That's probably. I think he's had to have at least 8 to 10 pitches probably at the double digits. Yeah.
Yeah. He's at 11, I guess.
I would say so.
This is a good at bat. A good battle here between Jacob Rochelle and Jaden Babiak, and another foul ball. Rochelle's got to be thinking, I don't have any more pitches.
Yeah,
I've thrown this kid everything.
Been doing a lot of off speed. Fastball's been going.
But he's been around the plate enough that Babiak has to be defensive.
I mean, you start to notice McLeod's even looking over at the dugout like, hey, what do I call here? You know, and I think he's starting to try to figure out something that's going to work against Babiak.
And there's the one, and it could be a double play as Yukimoto
Oh,
makes the throw.
wow.
There you go.
That's what the Gulls needed.
Boy. That is an impressive double play. He hung in there because he had that base runner in Johnny Volcano bearing down on him hard right there. And he hung in there and made a bullet throw over to second base. Okay, there's a teammate, huh?
Yeah, there you go. That's what you want to do over there. Just be able to throw the ball where the player is going to be on second base, and that makes the turn way easier.
And that's a good ending of the night for Mr. Rochelle Thor himself, as the crowd gives him a good applaud off the field. So in comes Big Bess. We'll step aside. We'll be back with the rest of the top of the ninth when we come back. Well, there is Nick Veselinovic on the mound for the Sylvan Lake Gulls, and he is going to face Evan Morrison with 2 outs, nobody on base. So being a pitcher coming into a situation like this, you got to shut the door, and you don't have any base runners to worry about. So I think Big Bess is probably coming in with a little bit more comfortable feelings rather than nerve feelings, knowing what he's got to deal with, and why not throw one right on the corner.
92 for Big Bess.
Once again, Jimmy Palche in the broadcast booth. Jim Claggett, Cale Clark here with you on Canada Day, Tuesday night. Glad to have you wherever you might be.
And he has him swinging at that one. Basically the same pitch, so. Jimmy's favorite thing to see, a left-hander throwing smoke inside. If you were a right-handed batter.
Yeah.
Oh my, I can see how that would be a little nerve-wracking. And 3 pitches. Thank you, Bess.
I'm not sure what that reaction is, if that's well, I just got in the game. That was easy. But there you go. Staples it up. That was easy button right there. Bottom of the ninth coming your way. We got a close one. It's 3-2 when we come back. Well, ladies and gentlemen, it all comes down to this. Bottom of 9, Gulls down 1 run. It's 3-2. Medicine Hat leads it, and they are sticking with this guy on the mound, number 9, Xander Roberts, who came back in the 5th inning and has not given up anything to the Sylvan Lake Gulls. In fact, hasn't even given up a hit, Jim, since coming into this game for the Mavericks. So we do have warming up going on in the bullpen should the Medicine Hat Mavericks need it and turn to the bullpen. But right now it looks like Xander has been the guy to call on, as he has not given up anything for the Sylvan Lake Gulls to make any kind of comeback. And they need to make a comeback now with being down 1. Simon Baker at the plate, and he lines this into right center field to get things going.
There you go. That's what Jimmy Peltier said. If we get a base hit, now you got a guy that can steal a bag. And Brooks Bachman, I believe, is going to be coming up to face Xander Roberts. So he's pinch hitting for Cam McLeod, which means another catcher is going to be going in, because I don't think Brooks is a catcher.
Yeah.
And now, so do you give Baker a chance to steal off of Jaden Babiak, or do you bunt him over and on the sacrifice?
I don't know. It's all about
See what
strategy
Coach
at this
Chatwood
point.
has up his sleeve.
And
Does he have sleeves?
Well, I don't know, but but again, that just goes to show what Jimmy was saying earlier.
Yeah.
You know, you get a base runner on early, and if you get a couple speedy guys, maybe you can bunt him over to second, or he just goes and steals, and then base hit from Bachman really makes things interesting.
Mm-hmm.
Stolen base, regardless, would be good.
And Baker gets back on that throw over to first.
And that's something you got to be careful of too with Simon Baker at first. You can't afford to get thrown out and picked off.
No, he's kind of playing it cautious. He doesn't have that, excuse me, that big a lead over there.
No. Well, Brooks Bachman, he's due, isn't he? I think this kid can do something, and I'm really excited to see maybe now's the time as he lifts this into shallow left field, and that's going to keep Baker over at first, with Rowan O'Connor coming to the plate.
Well, now we know Rowan's got some pop in his bat, because we've seen that happen. And he's getting the call from the dugout as to what they want him to do. So this is the last opportunity, I think, to lay down a bunt and move Baker over to second base, and he shows no sign of bunting.
Nope. But every single pitch, he's looking over to Chatwood.
Yeah.
So it's
the chess game is underway, folks.
It sure is.
And he watches that pitch. Now he looks over. Yeah, okay. And we got signals going. As Coach Chatwood is sending the signs in. 1-1 the count on Rowan O'Connor. And they're still interested in Simon Baker. They got to keep him close, because if he gets a jump, he can steal the bag. He's got that long stride, and he is fast.
Yep.
And Jordan Babiak is kind of gearing himself for a throw down to second. And see how he braces himself? He just gets out of that squat and gets his legs braced so he can throw. 2-1 the count. So he's just on his toes, and then he... Oh, yeah.
I don't know about that. Wow. Oh boy, that's inside. But again, you got to give credit to Jaden Babiak. He's been doing a good job of framing that ball.
Oh boy.
And another frame that goes in the Medicine Hat favor, and the home plate umpire is giving the Gulls a warning that he's heard enough.
So Rowan O'Connor has to sit down. That's the second out of the inning here, and that brings us down to the top of the order, Noah Connings. And so if the Gulls want to send this to an extra inning, they need to score a run right now.
Nope.
And they check down to first base to see if he went around, and First
Not-
base umpire Rob Allen says no, he did not.
Not even close. I don't even know why they thought they needed to check down, to be honest with you.
You just never know.
I guess.
You don't know unless you ask, right?
That's true.
That's what my wife keeps saying.
Or you keep saying her?
No. It's the other way around.
Oh, okay.
I don't ask.
You don't ask.
No.
You just
I'm
know.
a guy.
Yeah. That's a good pitch there, yeah.
2-1 the count on Noah Connings, who is 0 for 4 tonight. He's hit the ball 3 times out of 4 to third baseman Tyler Vanesti. So, and you know, with the base runner over at second, there is a big gap between first and second. And with Xander Roberts throwing that ball to the outside, that might fit in well. And that's well hit, but it's just going to hang up there into center field. And Jeremy Freeman makes the grab, and the Medicine Hat Mavericks post a 3-2 win on the road here in Sylvan Lake as they beat the Gulls. 2 runs in the first, 1 in the second. Gulls with 2 in the bottom of the second. That's all the scoring all night long, folks. A pitcher's duel, and several pitchers took part in this one.
Well, it was, one of those games that we kind of expected. The Medicine Hat Mavericks, good team there in the East, second place in the East Division for a reason. And, it was just a hard-fought game. I mean, both teams were not giving up much, and once the runs stopped in the second inning, you never saw another one after that. And you got to give credit to great defense by the Medicine Hat Mavericks. And number 9, Xander Roberts, coming in the 5th inning and just closing things out. And Medicine Hat only had to look to the bullpen twice tonight. And, I guess technically once, really, to substitute out the starting pitcher in Danny Retzlaff. But between the 2 pitchers, they had a terrific ball game here at Gulls Field. And Sylvan Lake Gulls, they matched up pretty good against this Medicine Hat team, I think. I think you take a look at tomorrow, and it's going to be another coin flip on who's going to come out on top. So the rematch will go tomorrow night, but first we will get some post-game reaction down on the field level with Jared Waldo.
Here to introduce you is the game day host, Jared Waldo.
All right, thank you very much, Joe. Your EG Auctions player of the game, Jaden Flores. Jaden, that was a close game right from the get-go. 2 teams battling hard out there, and ultimately somebody had to come away with the win. But great run so far. You're just your thoughts on the game tonight?
No, we played hard, but just didn't end up our way.
Well, I guess the good news is Joe just mentioned you get the opportunity to do it all over again tomorrow. Is it a scenario where you just keep doing what you're doing, or is there anything you'd like to see changing just to get back in that win column?
We just got to adjust with the bats and then and hopefully fall our way tomorrow. So, yep.
Well, let's do it again tomorrow night. Your EG Auctions player of the game, Jaden Flores. Jaden, thank you for being here tonight. All right, Ben.
Well, Jaden Flores, the player of the week this past week in 6 games, now player of the game here tonight as his bat and his effort continues to shine here in Sylvan Lake, Alberta, Canada. And yeah, just again, it was a tough one for the Sylvan Lake Gulls to fall short on, but at the end of the day, just great effort. I mean, yeah, they got down early, but they answered in a big way, and they came back, down 3-0. They made it interesting to make it 3-2, but then Medicine Hat just shut the door on them.
Well, and as Jaden alluded to, he says we got to get on the bats.
Yeah.
We got to hit more. They're a better hitting team than they showed tonight. Well, 6 hits on the evening, but Medicine Hat only had 3, but they counted when they had to. And whereas the Gulls, I don't know how many guys.
A lot of runners were stranded.
Yeah, they
I'm
left
looking at it.
3, 4, 5, 6, 7 guys stranded.
They
so
had bases loaded at one point. Yeah. It was just one of those nights.
Yeah, it was just one of those nights. I mean, any given day, we know that anybody can beat anybody, and we just saw the perfect example of 2 good teams slugging it out. Not really slugging it out, but going head-to-head kind of thing. And there's the result. So it could have gone either way.
Well, tonight's way went to Medicine Hat, and we'll do it all over yet again here tomorrow night. But it was Canada Day, Jimmy. You looked great. So did Jared Waldo on the field in the Mavericks jerseys. Well, they shined just as bright as well as the Gulls made it a game. It was all runs scored early on in this one. Fans showing their support for Canada Day. And, you know, at the end of the day, it was just a beautiful day to be at the ballpark on this July 1st, the beginning of summer for the Sylvan Lake Gulls, and the beginning of summer for a lot of fans in attendance as well, and some new guys and new faces that we got to see here tonight. You know what? Pretty impressive stuff. Got to see Tai Yakamoto do his stuff, got to see Kyle Lewis do his thing out in right field, and how about that pitcher in, you know, Jacob Rochelle coming in as well. So it was a lot of fun. Big Best did his job, and we'll do it all over again tomorrow night. Jim Claggett, I'm Carol Clark, the whole broadcast crew at FloCollege. We had the pleasure with another bird's eye view on this one. Good night.